Right?
Hello.
Okay, we're live.
Ooh,
what's up, guys?
What's up?
Hello.
How's
All
it
right.
going,
My mic
dude?
working?
I hate being on stream.
Is your
it
mic working?
Is it working? Is it working?
Always
Yeah, I
Is it
can hear
working?
you.
You can hear me? All right.
Yeah, I think I can hear you.
Give my drink.
Yeah,
It's like
okay,
sitting
I can
right.
hear you.
Yeah. There
All
we
right,
go.
cool. So welcome to what
Yeah,
I'm
Red
kind of
Bull.
calling not Red Bull.
I need Red Bull.
Chance that it might be the same company.
Hello.
Don't know for sure. Welcome to what I'm calling.
Oh, is that the camera?
Yeah, it's the camera.
All right, what's up?
Yeah, they can see. What I'm calling Who's Melee, which is going to be interviews, if I decide to continue on with the interviews with old school. I can't see Jeff. This is kind of weird. I was like, hey, let me just move this so that they can. Okay,
Let's
this is
just
much
move
better
the
angle.
camera.
Now I can
Yeah.
see Jeff. I was just talking
You
to
don't need to
nothing.
see
There we go.
Jeff.
Am I good where I'm
Jeff-
at? Do I need to move?
Yeah, I
Jeff,
think you're
Jeff,
fine.
Jeff, we just,
we good now.
yeah, we just feel your kindness. That's
so
it's
this
so
is-
But now I
nice.
can't see Elvis because there's paper towels.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
All right,
true.
hold on.
So
no,
there's literally.
that's shy.
Tim.
Right in the way.
Tim.
So yeah, there's always we always talk about a lot of old school stuff when, especially whenever Jeff and Tim are around, and so I just wanted to start putting some of that stuff on recording because there's a lot of cool stories out there
Oh,
that
yeah.
people don't know about. And of course, so we've got me. My name's SAK. I'm the co-owner and head tournament organizer for SAK Gaming. I'm here with Elvis Knight Thompson, aka NickNyte, old school Melee player from back in the launch of the
2000
game in Arizona, right?
No, actually, at launch of the scene, a little bit after the launch of the scene, I say I started 2006. Yeah, around actually 2005.
You were
It
here
was
before us.
Yeah. So it was the fall of 2005. I was like bouncing between Sierra Vista and University of Arizona. But yeah.
And then, of course, we have – I just turned you way up, Nick. Not Nick. Tim, I don't think people actually could hear you that well.
Yeah,
So
see,
you
I
were-
told
you
you.
were being
I'm
repressed.
always right.
Yeah, you were being
See,
the
Jeff,
Nick Knight.
I'm
Now
always
I
right.
hear
being
it.
I'm always
suppressed.
right.
Okay.
I'm
For
always
sure.
right.
And then, of course, we've got
Hate you so much.
Extinction.
Yep,
Um,
Extinction.
Yeah, that is his name. That's
It
for
is.
sure.
It's my name. I don't, my combo video is called Vector Man, so you
Yeah.
guys check that out. It's pretty sick.
Nothing to do with the ocean.
That reminds me, before Genesis 5, we kept making egg jokes like, excuse.
Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. I hate those
What's
jokes.
your excuse?
But yeah, I started.
Steven, I'm so
in-
sorry for these
That's
egg
all right.
jokes.
That's what I'm
Sorry,
trying to
Genesis 2. I meant to say Genesis.
what I'm
2.
trying to capture.
Everyone's
for sure.
bad, dude. I started in 2006 at a high school tournament. A pretty fun one.
Which high school?
I think we all went to the same high school, Buena High School in Sierra Vista.
I went to Cienega outside of Vail, but that's only because I wasn't born and raised in two-street town, Arizona.
Okay.
I was one-street town. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Jeffrey Williamson,
Hey, everyone.
TempoAxe Axe.
You might not know me. I'm a new guy, but you better watch out for me. I'm coming up.
He had his
Yeah.
first tournament
Hey,
today,
hey.
actually.
I
Hey,
did.
He went
I did.
0-2.
You know, I'm working on it, okay?
It's okay.
I started.
I didn't lose to anyone today.
I started the coming up before it became popular. Okay. I got banned in so many threads bragging about Axe's Pikachu.
On Smashboards?
Oh,
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
Really?
I got banned off the walls.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty much the guy that knew he was coming before he was coming. So I made threads every day like Axe's best Pikachu. Watch out, he's coming. People, Dr. Drew the Dragon and
Freaking
Alpha
all-
Zelot and all these people banning my threads every here and there.
Freaking
Pichu players hated me. But
Freaking all-
Everyone hated you. Tim.
everybody hated me. But I knew he was coming, dude. So whatever. It is what it is.
This,
I'm sure he won't see this, but freaking shout out to Alt F4. One of the
Alt
greatest-
F4
Alt
Warrior.
F4,
He
Dan.
banned me too.
Yeah,
Yo,
Alt
Dan's
F4.
still around,
He is
actually.
around.
He's the creator of Smashbot, a perfect Fox bot that
Oh,
fights people.
yeah.
yeah. It's starting
to
to
get
get a lot
Seen
of
that?
traction, too.
That thing wrecked me. However, we figured out an exploit that we're not allowed to talk about.
Yeah, but he was working on fixing it. I think he fixed it by now.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay.
if you guys don't know, Extinction and NickNyte have been playing longer than me. Like, they've been around before
Oh, thank
me.
you. I feel great knowing that you're like destroying me on screen time. What you just
For
said.
those that also don't know, Extinction is the guy that taught Axe everything, but we're not going to talk about that. It's okay, Jeff.
And I am the guy, the groupie that rides on everyone's coattails, and I'll just transport everyone. That's basically
The transport.
It's okay, though.
So let's go
we,
back.
We don't have to let them know the truth. It's
Let's
all right.
actually go back to the beginning. So, like, kind of as far back as we can go. So, let's go around and talk about when you guys did, like, kind of your first exposure to the scene and how you guys got into things. So, I mean,
wait for mine.
This is bad. I don't like where this is going.
Okay, I guess I'll start since I kind of got the earlier one. It'll end up tying to there, and then they can start with their story.
I don't like this.
Okay, so with me, back 2005, I was like getting ready to graduate. I was like really young. I was like 16 years old. when I graduated high school, and then I was just watching TV on like MTV, and you were like, True Life Professional Gamer, freaking Killer Wars is going around NYC destroying scrubs, taking money and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, that's awesome.
Which game was this for?
It was for Melee.
Yeah.
That was for
Melee was on
Melee.
MTV.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
You go back
It was
and
on
watch
MTV way back.
Oh
in the
my
day.
god.
So
Killer Wars, baby. Yep.
KILLAORZ, Killer Wars. I like
Killer
you
Wars.
you have to watch it. I think
Okay.
that's happens to every Smasher must watch that video at least once because it's still accurate to this very day, at least for the Serotes anyway. So I was playing. I saw that video. And I'm like, I wanted to do this too. So after I graduated high school, I was getting ready to go to the University of Arizona, but my family moved over to Sierra. Got ready to move over to Sierra Vista too. So I kind of started going back and forth between both places. But I ended up meeting going on Smashboards at the time because there was no Facebook. This is the time before Facebook.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
There was no YouTube was brand new. It was before Facebook. This is the only way you communicate is through Smashboards. So we went on Smashboards.
MySpace was a thing.
MySpace. I mean,
MySpace.
MySpace.
Yeah. Friendster.
MySpace was
I don't
a
think
thing.
I look at Smash tournaments on MySpace.
I mean, they did. I'm just saying it was a way to communicate. It wasn't as big,
I mean, I forgot.
but
how
it was there.
MySpace was big for our generation at the time.
Correct.
You know, you
I'm
have to
just
see
saying-
who's like #1 on your friends list.
Oh,
Like,
the top
your
five.
top
The top
your top five
five.
friends,
Yeah.
man.
Yo.
And if I'm not #1 on your list, we're
You
gonna
had
have
to
a
find a
problem.
way. You had to find a
You
way,
know, if
dude.
you put like your girl over your best friend,
Oh.
you know, there would be drama back in the day.
Yeah, I
because of
remember that, dude.
that was fun.
So you were in Sierra Vista.
Yeah, I was.
And when you had already been playing Melee, but you saw Killer Wars, and you were just like, I want to.
No, I hadn't really played Melee that much, believe it or not. It was
Okay.
I was playing with my friends back in 2001 when it first came out. I was living in Georgia at the time, right? And I was like 13 years old still. Well, it wasn't like 13, 16 years old. There's like Melee still on the brain and stuff like that. I had a copy of the game. I didn't pull it out and play it that often, but I did have a full awareness of all the characters. I love Kirby so much.
Don't we all?
I just
Kirby.
And then we
Kirby's
played in
bad.
the tournament.
Kirby's bad.
Kirby's
No.
bad.
Kirby's fire.
Yeah.
Kirby's fire.
Kirby's fire.
Better in
Hot
Ultimate.
No.
Yeah,
Stronger in Ultimate.
maybe better than Melee.
So what was your first tournament that you went to? Then?
My first tournament was, dude, I honestly believe it's the tournament that I met Tim in Sierra Vista. It was horrible. It was awful.
Meeting Tim or the tournament?
No. Tim was he was great. Given the rules of the tournament,
You're talking about the GameStop tournament.
was the first
oh,
one. It was a
God.
GameStop
Wait, is that the tournament where there was no edge hogging?
All right, so
edge hogging was banned.
okay, it was a horrible. So it was a small GameStop tournament. I didn't know that was your first tournament. Okay, so it was a small GameStop tournament. 2 stock, 3 minutes, final destination only. No ledge grabbing, no edge hogging.
What items?
So-
I think it was what items.
No, items were off, but there was
Okay.
no ledge grabbing or edge hogging. So
Okay.
basically, if they were recovering, you had to go back to the middle of the stage.
You just like, how do they enforce it?
They did it pretty well. Like, pretty much if you had a projectile and they're off stage, you could shoot it. But while they're recovering, you can't, like, hit them.
They
and
were
stuff.
they were preparing for Ultimate.
So when someone just raise their hand and be like, he's edge hogging.
it was a bad tournament. But
Oh my god.
The employees were
That's
actually behind us
rough.
watching those matches. I was just like, it's single elimination.
it was elimination.
Yeah.
I remember they tried to set. Do you remember Mr. Anthony? Mr. Jaskolski?
He's actually influential. Him and turnip tosser Sean Farmer.
Yes.
They're instrumental in my beginning of a Smasher. I played with them. They're the ones who actually taught me how to play the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was Mr. J, Anthony Jakowski.
Jaskolski.
Jakolski.
Jaskolski.
Yep.
He ends up going into the tournament and says to everyone, "I am going to beat all of you, and I'm going to win this tournament." And then first round he fights Extinction.
Yeah. And that was fun.
What was your tag at the time, Tim?
My tag at the time was Vector Man.
No,
Okay.
it was Tiny Tim.
It was Vector Man back then.
It was back to I was just messing with him.
But yeah, they pretty much had me play against him because they like the store knew I was pretty good at the game. I wasn't really developed yet. I didn't even know how to shield grab at that tournament. I had no idea shield grabbing was a thing. I did not know how to L cancel short hop moves. I could only L cancel full hop ones.
What?
So, yeah, I didn't know how to shield grab. I didn't know how to L cancel short hop moves. So if it was a full hop, I knew how to L cancel, but short ones I couldn't. And all I knew was I knew how to down air. I thought down air was like the coolest move ever.
You were Falco, right?
I played Falco, yes.
Down there is the coolest move ever. What are you talking about?
And so after I won that tournament, he was a very unhappy individual to the rest of the staff. Of course, makes sense. You know, he was confident he was going to win. The rules were very bad, so you can understand on his end.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that we get for telling. Oh my gosh, I just remember some of the dudes that were there. Like, I mean, they were. I guess they were our age when they went over there, but they would just look so gross and gnarly. It was like, oh my gosh, why are you old dudes here?
Yeah.
they were unsavory looking people.
I also didn't laser at that tournament either. I didn't know how to short hop laser.
It looks like nothing's changed.
I know, right? It's crazy. I didn't know how to short hop. I didn't know lasers like were a thing, so I just played a Falco that didn't laser.
Yeah.
Funny, because now I still do that. Weird.
So that was that your? But that wasn't your first tournament.
That was my first like tournament in a competitive setting, like in terms of like playing other players that are actually good, like that. And my first overall tournament was a school tournament. I wasn't a Falco main back then, unfortunately. I played a character that I'm not a big fan of now.
More like fortunately.
At the first tournament I went to, it was a school tournament in 2005. I actually was a Sheik main. Oh, the horror!
And you didn't know Jeff at this time.
I did not know Jeff at this time.
But you didn't really know anybody.
I didn't really know anybody. I just knew I was very good at the game. I didn't think there was anybody of significant skill. Like I'm not saying I was great, but I knew how good Sheik was and how much minimal that's the wrong word to say. At the level,
I knew how bad I could be and still win by chain grabbing.
At the level I was at, I knew the amount of minimal effort was required to get the job done. A lot of bread and butter combos that people weren't doing. DI wasn't very developed back then. People didn't know how to recover well. So just simple edge guards that worked really well for me.
Was this on 1.02?
Do we even care about that back then?
I don't even know if we had the knowledge of that back in those days. Only like the real technical players, I guess, did. But
it rarely matters.
Yeah.
Like the version of the game, it's extremely rare that it ever.
Like sometimes the link jumps work, sometimes link doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's really what it came down to.
It's just about Link or Young Link super jumps.
Yeah. So
besides that, everything's really minimal.
So during this time, my best friend was his name is Julian. His tag was Priest Revan. He's a very good guy. He played Fox, so we were kind of just training partners all the time. I gave him so much incorrect information, but at the time, nobody knew how to get out of it. So my logic was, I'm the best amongst my friends. If I don't know how to get out of it, then you can't get out of it.
So I will always win.
So correct. And I gave him a lot of wrong information nowadays. However, it worked because my friend happened to be the guy who eliminated the guy to my right.
At which tournament?
The Buena High School tournament.
So Jeff was there. You just hadn't met yet?
We hadn't met yet. I was pretty confident I was going to win the tournament. I was confident my best friend at the time, Julian, was going to get second.
And Jeff, you were how old at this time?
Let me talk about this tournament. All right, let me talk about this. This needs to be addressed.
Well, anyway, okay.
All right.
So before he goes on about his nonsense.
Go ahead and put up your wall before I knock it down. Go ahead.
You have to understand this is a school tournament. There are rules and regulations like
made by Tim. Yes.
No, there's not. I wasn't the TO. So there's rules and regulations. I wasn't. Mr. Andrew Zajewski was. You can't even say that again. So he was the tournament organizer, and school has regulations they got to be. School's out. They got to get out of the school because there's other obligations they have to do. So go ahead and tell your nonsense. That's not my fault, but it's sort of my fault.
So then I blame Carlton for saying that you were running the tournament.
Fine, blame him.
I totally forgot about Carlton.
Carlton, dude.
All right, go on and
Carlton. Anyway, okay, so here's this tournament. All right. So I was a high school kid. I was a freshman in high school. And I loved Melee, like, just as a casual player. I didn't know anything about competitiveness. I'm just like, oh, Melee, this game's sick. I love Pikachu. He's just fun to play. And that was me. And then I saw an advertisement for a tournament at the high school that we attended, Buena High School in Sierra Vista. That was being run by VectorMan, apparently, but apparently not. I don't know. I think he's just lying
I'm
because he doesn't want to take responsibility for what happened.
What kind of kid gets priority over a teacher?
Well, anyway,
Think
here's what
about
happened.
I was 15 years old. What kind of powers do I have?
You were 15. I was 15.
I was 16 then.
Sure.
Go on. Whatever.
But, yeah, I was like, oh, I love this game, and I think I'm the best. So I went to this tournament.
Who'd you main?
I main Pikachu.
So okay. So did you always play Pikachu from the beginning?
For the most part.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, for the most part.
He liked a different character more, though. Anyway, go.
Sort of.
Nah, you like a different character more.
Oh,
Not as a beginner, actually. Pikachu was my favorite.
who you love more?
Anyway.
You tier players, 64 players,
Who
Pikachu.
you love
It's boring. All right, go on.
I played NES in 64.
See?
But
I'm always right. All right.
so yeah, I went to this tournament,
And was this your first tournament?
it was my first tournament, yeah. And I knew nothing about advanced techniques or the scene or anything like that. I just thought I was really good because I didn't lose to any of my friends.
The classic.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, so I went to this tournament. I played against Julian Priest Revan, who VectorMan was just talking about. It was a guy that he trained. The technique that he taught him to beat basically anyone, including me, was with Fox.
No.
You do down throw into up smash, and there's nothing you can do about it. And he was right. I didn't know how to get out of that. He would just spam grab, down throw, up smash, and I kept dying. And I was like, gosh, this is stupid. There's nothing I can do. But then, later on you find out you can either DI or you can tech. But I didn't know that at the time.
But that wasn't developed then, so I was always right.
Yeah, so I
can't imagine a world where people didn't know at least about, like, DI obviously was something that came out later that people recognized over time. If I remember my Doc Kid indoctrination, it was the Japanese players that discovered it. Is that true? And then, but like things like being able to roll, like teching out of grabs and stuff. It's amazing to think that people didn't think to press the trigger buttons.
Yeah.
And they got hit.
Yes, yeah, at the time,
I never
no.
did.
No one,
amazing.
Well,
no one
especially
did.
with Fox or Falco's down throw, the timing's actually pretty weird.
Yeah.
So
it's
that
a
makes sense. Like as a beginner, you probably wouldn't know.
Yeah, that is friggin'. I'm sorry. I just think about every time I do that as Luigi, I just slide off of the entire side of the entire stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, this not knowing tech at that early stage, it's the information, just getting that information out was just so different.
Information outlets were different back then too.
Yeah,
there was no at tournaments there. We are so privileged now because tournaments now everyone's got a stream set up. Matches would get uploaded to YouTube. Back then, tournament if you wanted to see the match, you had to be at the tournament. There was no upload. There weren't many people that were going out to upload it to YouTube or to have streams of it. It was like, oh, if you want to see this finals match, you better watch it. You better have a friend that has a phone on their camera or something to watch it, do it for you.
Yeah, because
there wasn't access to that.
The recording software too was like really expensive back then too. It's not like everybody had a streaming setup or even just a basic recording setup.
Even phones
I think we were
flip phones.
Oh yeah. The quality was bad.
Yeah, we actually the video we were actually looking at some videos back in we made 11 years ago. And those videos that we uploaded came from VHS tapes that Jeff had at his house. Remember, at his house he had the thing where you could put it on his computer.
I recorded so many Melee videos on my VHS on the TV that we have in our living room that I call my baby.
You still have it.
I recorded everything on that TV with the VHS in it, which you just bought a new TV that has a VHS player.
Yes.
Yeah, but I guess that was a tournament that. Were you at that tournament?
Which one?
It was the Buena High School one.
No, I wasn't in the Sierra Vista yet when you guys had that tournament.
Okay. Well, yeah, I got destroyed there and went to losers bracket. But as time went on, my name was never called, and I was DQ'd for just no reason.
Oh no!
What are you talking about?
I mean, it wasn't my fault.
Yes,
Then why do you sound so guilty?
I'm not guilty at all.
You're mafia. You're mafia.
It was time to go.
It was your fault,
Okay,
dude.
it wasn't.
See, it's
What's the
time-
school gonna do?
So I
What's
am
the
future
school gonna
act.
do?
How dare you DQ
I was
me?
DQ'd for no reason.
And
My
why
first
did it have
tournament.
to DQ him?
My first tournament, I got down
They
throw up
didn't-
smashed.
They didn't
Out of
report
round
to their
one.
match. They didn't report to their match in a timely manner. That's what it was.
See what? This is
To
your,
be
this
fair,
is your,
this tournament only
this
had
is
3.
your fault. This is why he's good, because you gave him the bad beginning.
No, that's a different story. That's
This is why I'm stuck with Pikachu.
No.
You messed up.
The reason
I
why
could've
he's
tried another character.
The reason why he's
tournament.
good is actually the following year. Is actually why, because he came back the following year to get revenge at this tournament, and he was a lot better.
See, the revenge. I told you, you're the one who started him down this path of revenge.
Well, see, the good news is in that year time development, I wisely chose a better character. I went to Falco. Shout out to Bomb Soldier and probably every Falco inspiration out there.
Had you met Forward by this time?
I had not met Forward. I was kind of like I was heavily inspired by Taj. The fact that a Mewtwo was pretty much wrecking our. The fact that a character like Mewtwo was number 2 in our state for constant years and years, and he was the only one doing it. Like kind of how Jeff is with Pikachu being the only one doing Pikachu. He was the only player with Mewtwo doing anything.
Taj was second in the state with Mewtwo.
Yeah, that is absolutely absurd. And, you know, at this time, Axe wasn't developed. So he's kind of just playing Pikachu, doing his own thing, and Taj is winning these tournaments, beating these Power Ranked players with Mewtwo. The only person he couldn't really quite get a grasp on was Forward. But he's taking games off of wobbles, you know, Mewtwo Ice Climbers and winning. Shadow Claw was an absolute inspiration for me. I wanted to be just like him. So,
But you didn't know him at this time.
I didn't. I was seeing threads like in the Arizona Melee community that Todd is basically this large black guy who's very intimidating. So I didn't exactly know how to interact with him at the time. So at this time, I was kind of like, well, I'm just going to come back. I'm going to play Falco. I'm going to do really, really well and just try to get my name out there. So
This is true facts, by the way. One, I'm going to say I am the founder of the Arizona Melee community, and when I gathered the majority of the people that I knew around the community to join, I asked Taj to join, and he declined it.
That
he was
sounds
the only,
like him.
He was the only person to decline it.
So you started the Facebook page.
Yeah.
On.
Yeah, I started in June. I think was it June 2011? I think no, not 2011.
I don't
no.
know.
I was the founder of it. Yes. So, I ended up relinquishing control of the group after I basically ran into an issue where we were getting a lot of people joining the Arizona Melee community that was not from Arizona, and they were generally troll. I remember there was this one dude named Angel who was actually complete troll, and I think you know who I'm talking about.
He's still there.
Yeah.
He's still around.
He's still around.
He's still around.
Oh.
Yeah.
Angel
he's
Duarte.
Angel Dorito. He's less
Angel
active now than he used to be.
So it is not even, I'm not even bashing him. This is a God honest truth, and I didn't know how to deal with this kind of thing. So what I ended up doing, I tried to create a code of conduct that went down by trolls and stuff like that. It was just
I
awful.
remember the code of conduct. It did not go very well.
No,
at
it
first.
didn't.
People were like,
go.
you can have rules on a thread. It was not liked at first.
It wasn't not,
Yeah.
in retrospect, I guess I should have stuck my guns a little bit harder on how I felt that Arizona Melee community should be mainly for not out of staters but for Arizona people. But it just kind of became this whole thing. So I was like, well, I'm in the military now. I'm not having an active role in the community. So I ended up handing the reins to Execution and then also to Ty. Excuse you know I hate them. I don't know what stupid name you got.
Call him Execution.
Excellent.
Excellent. Scramble Eggs Benedict. That's your name now.
Eggs Benedict.
So so that was kind of your exit, actually. So
that was my.
It was his exit.
That was my exit.
All right, sorry. Go ahead.
I can't. Oh God.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
I'm going to you, Tim.
So when did so you guys met at the Buena Vista tournament or
At the Buena High School.
The Buena High School
That's
tournament.
when we met, but we didn't.
We didn't actually talk.
We didn't talk or anything.
Yeah.
He was.
You just DQ'd him unnecessarily. And
I didn't DQ him.
in
It
an
was
effort
time
to-
constraints. It was time constraints.
It's like those stories that people say, like, if you went back in time to kill Hitler, would you do it? That was you. You were trying to kill Axe before he
I
became
wasn't
Axe. You
intentional.
saw the
Okay.
potential.
So I am going to take blame. So yes, I guess due to time constraints, we weren't able. Jeff,
I'm sorry.
this guy.
Oh,
So
man.
due to time constraints, unfortunately, the tournament wasn't able to finish on time. So I actually didn't know of these DQs until after the tournament was over. But I guess I was at the time the teacher had made it seem like it was nothing he could do kind of thing. So what I tried to do after the tournament was over, I tried to have access to the library and have them play like on the side kind of thing to still have their chances or whatever. But it wasn't allowed. So then I was running a tournament with somebody else. Like, well, maybe I can gather everybody to go into a different part of the school. But they just weren't having it.
And what time was this at? Like, what was the time of day?
It was early still. It was like 5 p.m. Just the school.
Like, it was an after-school tournament?
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing that
It just the school wouldn't let us use the library. So afterwards, I tried to set something else up, and I probably could have pushed it a little bit further. The problem is there were no willing teachers that were willing to stay to do it.
Yeah, they're like, we don't give a shit about this.
Yeah, and they don't.
This
They don't.
video game tournament.
They don't let students unaccompanied into any kind of area.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
I couldn't think of anything. So at the
Want
time when
high
I
school
found
kids getting into the library and smashing it all hours
Yeah.
of the night.
Look,
right.
I still
So at
don't
the time
like
after
that.
I found out,
So dumb.
I had thought only Jeff was one of the few that had DQ'd, but I found out like later that 2 or 3 more were also DQ'd for similar reasons.
Just like
man.
they called their match, and then for some reason he just didn't respond.
It's not
They're
that,
like,
the
oh, you're
match-
gone.
They
the
never
the
called
matches
my
weren't
match.
called.
Like,
They literally just
the-
DQ because like, we got to save time. Throw
I
this kid
think
under the bus.
I think the issue was like, you know how nowadays, well, what you're supposed to do, how tournaments are gone down on a bracket kind of thing. Well, I
Yeah.
think what happened, like the top echelon of the bracket kind of like all went through, and then like the bottom part just didn't.
They just
move
didn't
at
play
all.
losers.
One
Yeah,
major
yeah.
issue
So-
with this is that the bracket's just on paper.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
there were no
God.
programs.
Yeah, there were no
Before,
computers
yeah.
or anything.
Okay.
Everything was
and,
on a
And
P-
Steven,
yeah.
I want you to think about this, okay? so imagine.
He's
Imagine.
See,
wait, hold on. I
you
gotta
guys are
get this, I
happy
gotta
that
get
I-
this off my chest. All right? So imagine just for a minute, okay? You don't know anything about competitive Melee. Nothing. You go into this tournament as a new player. Round 1, you go in, you get destroyed. You couldn't play any friendlies. You just get destroyed, and then that's it. You know? How many people would come back after that?
In a world.
How many people will come back?
mean,
I almost wouldn't be
one
here.
life.
I almost wasn't here. Tim,
he met
I
me
almost wasn't here.
the year after, and I made him.
But I'm so next level.
I soldiered through. So what did you do actually? So like you lost, and then you're like, well, maybe I'll play losers.
I lost.
And then they just ignored you for the rest of the night.
Yes,
The rest of the
yeah.
afternoon. So what did you do? Like what made you like? What was your kind of next step? You're like, all right, well, that was pretty soul crushing. Did you just say, did you just keep playing and go on to the next
The
tournament?
thing
Like-
is that I was so in love with Melee. Melee was my favorite video game that even though it was the crappiest tournament experience, I still wanted to play. I was just like, that sucked, but like this game is really fun and I just want to like keep trying, right? It was because Melee's so good.
yeah.
That's why I stayed. Nothing to do with the tournament experience
At all.
whatsoever.
To be
It's like, I'm
fair,
just gonna go
he's
back.
not giving himself credit on this, and I hate that I'm vouching for you. God, I hate that I'm vouching for you. He was actually really. I think the reality hit that, wow, this game is big, this game is deep, and I think everybody has it. But once you're the best amongst your friends and you lose, there's one of two things that's going to happen. You're going to either lose motivation to completely play, or if you love the game enough, in his case, you are hungry to get better and better and better.
Yeah.
And in his case, that was the case. He definitely wanted to get better. And he doesn't talk about it much because he doesn't like talking highly of himself. And damn it, I hate it too. But
He's Goku.
I don't know if that's
he
talking
was-
highly or not, but I definitely wanted to get better.
Yeah.
You know, but it was mainly just
The
because
fact that I'm saying it, not you, I'm making you look good. That sucks.
I know
we
you
didn't-
care. I
we
know you
didn't
care,
talk at
Tim.
all.
We didn't. No,
We didn't talk at all until the next
the
year.
next year when he came back. And he was
and
a
I
lot
got
better.
a lot better.
Was this another Buena High School tournament?
Same Buena High School tournament. It was run by Carlton, another friend of ours. His tag goes by Deltron now.
Deltron.
Master
Deltron. Now it's Deltron
Master
Zero.
Deltron.
Is he
Well,
still active?
It used to be Black
he
Knight.
used to be. Yeah, Black Knight 23. He's had a lot of tags.
Master
He's in
Deltron.
El Paso now. He's active in Smash Ultimate, I believe. So not in Smash Melee much anymore.
So you guys didn't. So and did you both go to Buena High School?
Yeah.
So you just didn't talk to each other, didn't know each other.
Yeah. So at the first tournament, it was my senior year. It was my last year. So the next year, I think Carlton was a senior, so he was running it. And this is when Jeff came back, and he was just a much more polished player. At this time, I was too. I dropped Sheik. I went to Falco, and I guess I was there as a guest. I wasn't actually able to compete since I didn't go to school. But since I had won last year, Carlton's idea was whoever won this tournament got to play the winner of last year's tournament, which was me. So I guess you could say it's kind of how we met.
Yeah, that's like serendipity right there. So he won. He came back and won the Buena High School tournament the next year.
Yes.
And you were there, and so you guys got to play each other.
Yeah, so we did. So another fact about this tournament, at this time, I was extremely confident. I was Falco. I think Falco is the funnest character in the game, all this other stuff. And during this time, I felt untouchable, pretty much. I was like, there's no way Divine Service is good enough, whatever. And I was watching his tournament matches versus everybody. I was like, yo, this Pikachu is really, really good. The only problem with that, I had an ego problem back then. I saw him beating everybody else with Pikachu, but I was like, Pikachu's not a good character. There's no way I'm going to lose to this Pikachu. So with that, I didn't want to lose for any reason. Like, Pikachu's not a good character. I'm not going to lose to this character. So I was the guy that had negative motivation. I would always say that his Pikachu's not good enough. Pikachu's not a good character. I'm not going to lose to Pikachu, period.
You sure did.
So
I remember that.
That's what we all say.
So during all this, as he's pretty much sweeping the bracket with Pikachu, he's winning here, winning versus this person. He finally gets to me, and I'm talking with Carlton, and he's like, yo, you better watch out for this Pikachu player. He's pretty good. And my first thought's like, I'm not losing to a Pikachu. You have nothing to worry about. I'm way better than everybody here. I'm not losing to Pikachu. Yeah. So I was the originator of the hate.
And what year is this again?
This is the following year. This is 2007.
2007.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you guys face off and face off afterwards, and you're like, I'm not going to lose. So what happens?
He beat me. He actually beat me. I don't remember. I don't remember if we did best of 3 or if we only did one game. But
yeah, it was either just one game or best of 3.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but he beat me. It was FD. Yeah. He didn't know chain grabs back then.
Yeah, I remember that. And I wasn't better than him at the time, but I happened to win.
Yeah.
But I recognized that I wasn't better than him, but I wanted to be.
Yeah. Was there any what was the prize?
Money.
There was cash prizes?
They allowed us to have cash prizes.
Really?
Yeah, I think I got $200 or something as a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
And I was
like, that's good money. That was good money back
Getting
then.
$200 as a sophomore.
Was this was it like a buy-in, or did they just have cash prizes available? Like someone put up 200
No, it was just from no pots or anything, but just there was an entry fee.
So there's an entry fee.
Yeah, buy-in, stuff like that. Yeah, so nothing crazy.
Yeah. So when did we meet?
Yeah, that's what. So how did you guys come to meet NickNyte?
So
because
I know how I met you.
I'm having trouble remembering the first time that I met you.
So it's weird because
wasn't that
it wasn't
combo? There was a combo from that thing that you killed him at 70%.
Did you just come to Brian's house one day or something?
No, we met before Brian's house because it's an 11-year-old video. So the thing. So we actually started playing a little bit. Because we probably end up meeting up on Smash Boards, and I came over to your place a couple times, right? And we were just doing friendlies. We just randomly did friendlies and just came over to your house, and that was just our only way of doing that at the time. Because, or rather, I think we probably met each other at some point with freaking Sean Farmer.
AZ1 too, maybe. AZ1.
AZ1.
Yeah, maybe.
Was it AZ1?
Yeah, maybe it was AZ1.
Did we meet at AZ1?
Who/what is AZ1?
AZ1 is a tournament. AZ1 was like my first state Arizona
first
tournament.
Legit tournament.
Yeah, it was just a legit Arizona tournament.
Wait, that was over at your dad's dojo, wasn't it? Was it? It was a tournament over at the dojo. Wasn't
yes,
it?
but that was after AZ1.
No, that was after.
But yeah, you were at AZ1.
I think I may have been. I see. It's so funny. I don't really know when I met Jeff.
I think it's one of those things because, back in the day, we kind of just trusted each other on Smash boards.
This
where
is-
we would
it
talk
was-
to
that's
So
great.
that was one thing I was going to
Yeah.
ask about. Is you guys
Yeah.
you guys just went on Smash boards and said, "Hey, I'm in Arizona. Who wants to play Melee?" And you just went to a stranger's
Yeah,
house.
that's-
Is that
that's
on
the
the
way
internet?
that-
Absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
what would happen.
We had to do this. This was the only way. Do it before-
That's
before
fucking
fa-
terrifying. That's so scary.
Yeah, but look at us now.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it worked out okay.
Absolutely.
Unless
But
there's
I
things
would
you
not-
haven't told us.
We
yet,
had
but
so like this early community. Like you had to. So one, you had to randomly trust some dude, right? And then if he was cool with you, then you could literally like crash at his place and play Melee all night, and they would be completely fine with this.
That would
And
happen
this was-
all the
We would have
All the
Smash Till
time.
Dawns all over the place, and you don't even know these dudes, but they're just like, yeah, man, just come sleep on the couch.
STDs.
STDs.
Smash till dawn.
Oh my God.
yes.
that's what's always made the community really great, though, is that that kind of trust, right? And it's interesting because it's all like, you know, regulated by like if someone fucks up, they just get kicked out of the community and exiled. But that is what has made the community really great. It is the kind of like piling into someone's house, you know, like 15 sweaty nerds in a basement just grinding Melee all night, and everyone's there because they'll like you can if you like Melee, you can walk into a tournament now, even today. And like we don't have as many house gatherings or things like that. Like obviously here in Arizona we've got the venue. But people don't go just like grind at people's houses. But you can go to someone's house, and if you like Melee, everyone else, you're going to have something in common with everyone else there, and that's what's always made it great.
See,
I think that's one of the things that's really kept the community strong.
It's honestly beautiful because I since the 4 years I've been gone, that was the standard, was to go to somebody else's house and literally get the TV and stuff like that. You know how hard it is to introduce your wife who comes from a different country. Oh yeah, I'm just going to this dude's house. I'm just going to play some games. You know, with a whole bunch of you go in there, they're like the dogs all over the couch. You got people playing in the kitchen on the island and stuff like that. We're just like, oh, this is awesome. But now we have this place, and this is more
This
than
is
I said.
amazing. We didn't have anything like this.
We had nothing.
Oh my gosh, we were all like crowded up in Ty's house, or
Oh, sleeping on his hardwood floor.
oh, those dude, they were harder than steel.
My gosh.
I wish I had a picture of back when the
Gmo's house.
like this, even in my on the
No
Tucson,
AC.
Oh, no AC in Arizona.
God.
No.
it's awful.
Oh, we slept in the heat. It was
so
bad.
with,
Yeah, we didn't even sleep.
my time frame is a little bit weird. My prime time for Arizona Melee actually happened when I came back from Louisiana in 2006. But I was still part of the community because I was going over to Forward's place during 2005's fall semester. Just going to Forward place, get my butt whooped, and I played Marth at the time. So after that, I got kicked. Basically dropped out of University of Arizona, went to Louisiana for a year. And then that's another story. It had not really Arizona Melee. It's still really important to my career, but it's not that important to this story. But then I came back, ended up being mainly Tucson-centric, and then that's when I ended up meeting a lot of the smashers from this area. And then I ended up going to Sierra Vista and then repping tournaments and stuff like that. So that's when I started hanging out with Jeff and Tim, and then I kind of hung out with Tim that's on and off the entire time.
Yeah, we hung out a lot.
Yeah, we hung out a lot.
One of those just organic things where it's like you're at Smash Fest, you're at tournaments together a lot, and you just kind of start hanging out. Like
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Well,
less of like a defining moment.
yeah. Well, it mainly it was different because I had my own inner circle, and Jeff actually had his own inner circle. I knew Jeff was the best of his inner circle, and I knew I was the best of my inner circle. But we actually didn't do stuff together. We didn't hang out. We didn't even play. It wasn't until after the second tournament that I realized, like, wow, there is someone out there that can give me some serious competition and development. I've got to find a way to play with that guy. But at the time, I knew I had made a few mistakes. One, I lost after talking all that smack.
Yeah.
So I was like, dang, how do I come up to him and be like, let's play again? Then at the same time, I knew I was talking smack, and Jeff was not in a bad way, but he was a lot more soft-spoken back then. He didn't really say much. He kind of just did his own thing. He didn't want to be involved. Like, if you go and talk to him, he'll talk to you, but he wasn't.
I was extremely shy.
Yeah, he wasn't outgoing. He wasn't going to look for you
Like,
first.
hi, I'm Jeff.
Yeah, he wasn't going to look for you first, so I had to find a way to get to know him. So afterwards, after this tournament, like we go to his friend's house. This is where Brian comes in. And Jeff and Brian are pretty good friends.
Brian's
I'm-
my original
Tags.
training partner. His gamer tag is Tag.
Tags.
Tags money.
Well, he
Tag
added the
money.
money after. It was just Tag, but he added the money
think
sign
I'm-
after the Hacks money. Tag's been here.
He came
I
here.
met
Yeah,
him once.
yeah, he came here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
he was my original training partner.
Wow.
Yeah. before I came into the fold.
Yep.
Yeah, and that was, and then I ended up hanging out over at Brian's house.
Yes,
and we ended up all playing together.
Pretty much, Brian's house became like the Smash Fest house. We would all meet up at Brian's house to kind of train and get together. Brian and Jeff were training partners. My main training partner was Julian and Carlton. But as all top players do this unconsciously, but they want to eventually play the best person in the room. So Jeff and I would always play each other last because everybody else in the house knew once we started playing,
we will not stop.
you're not gonna get us off the setup. So that was our way of development, and I do sort of feel a little guilty about it because Carlton and Julian, they wanted to get better, but their drive to play the game wasn't as large as Jeff's, and my drive was thriving. It was going and going. So as they were fading away from the game, I was playing with Jeff more and more, and with them less and less. So I feel a little bad on that, but they didn't want to play.
Yeah.
So it made it easier for me to kind of transgress. Yeah, so Brian's house was the hot spot. It's kind of where we all developed. And these were fun times because after Jeff won that tournament, he didn't win a lot after that.
No?
Not for a little while.
It was
for a while.
If you want a little while, was like 5 or 6 months. It was a good minute.
Wow.
It was a long.
He was
time.
better than me at the time, sure. I put up a fight though, man.
He did. He pushed me to my limits all the time. I will give him a lot of credit. He was a big sole reason in terms of my skill development. Like everybody else was helping me get better. I got to learn other characters, but in terms of getting myself tournament ready, Jeff was the reason for that.
And how many tournaments would you guys go to? Like, how many tournaments we held in a week, or was there even weekly events?
None. We lived in Sierra Vista.
No.
There was. We had to drive to Tucson or Phoenix for stuff like this.
Even
Sierra
outside
Vista.
of Sierra Vista, just tournaments for Melee in the state would happen like every couple of months.
Yeah.
A couple of months.
Yeah,
There weren't weeklies.
Wow.
Weeklies
Yeah.
didn't exist.
We just show someone gives a get together, and then we just go there, and
And especially since we're from Sierra Vista, it's kind of like an isolated city. Tucson and Phoenix are the main areas. So, whether it's NickNyte posting stuff on Threads or me posting stuff, if I posted videos of us like, hey, Sierra Vista's getting better, we were kind of inferior. Phoenix and Tucson's kind of like, oh, these guys from Sierra Vista, upcomers, they're not that good, blah, blah, blah. We were nobodies pretty much. Nobody knew who we were. We didn't have videos on YouTube, so people didn't think anything of us.
We're talking about a time where national or international tournaments for Melee would have like 200-something people.
Yeah.
That's the largest in the world, right? We're talking about that kind of time.
Where were those being held? Was that like the MLG era?
I started playing. This time that we're talking about was right after that era,
Yeah.
right? And during that time, like a huge tournament was like a couple hundred people, and that's why that tournament in Arizona, AZ won. It was a big deal because there were 50 people.
Oh my
And
god!
that was
Yes.
gigantic.
It was
like,
huge for us.
Arizona has a 50-man tournament? That's ridiculous.
And what were entry fees? Was it $5?
I don't really remember.
I don't remember pricing. I'm pretty. It was definitely over. It was more than $5.
Trying to think of like what the prize pool would have been.
It was
pretty-
more than $5.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't expensive. It was pretty
I think
cheap, but I think it was more than $5. It
They're
was-
I don't think more than $20 like this for anything really was
Yeah.
too much.
Like
It
20.
wasn't too bad
That
for
makes sense.
pricing.
Yeah.
yeah.
So.
My
But-
broke tail was too much.
At the time, we had a really good group of like training, like people that we trained with. So we got a good mix of like characters and stuff. And so this guy, Elvis, picked up Luigi.
Yeah.
And because of him, actually, I've always felt really confident against Luigi, like any Luigi player. Cause
You're very welcome for that.
Thank you.
I'm glad that my sacrifices went to good use.
So NickNyte, you were ranked 10th in the 2000s in 2007, that kind of era, right? You
Yes.
were top 10 in the state.
Yeah.
So take us through a little bit of like your career trajectory, did you peak at 10th or did you go higher on the PR?
I don't think I peaked more than 10th in this state, and it wasn't necessarily like I kind of hit stopping point. Like during that time, I was trying to finish up my degree, at Pima because I dropped out of the University of Arizona again for the second time. So I was just trying to get myself on my feet, but I still wanted to still play, right? And I drove around town. I ended up playing on the East Coast. There was a few smashers. There was I know I can only think of there was Ruby Iris around that time frame. The Silly Kyle,
the Dreadly Falco based Ruby Iris. We'll have to show you that story.
It's a shame that a lot of the names right now aren't coming to mind. We actually had quite a few people, and we actually became big enough that Tucson itself had its own power ranking, and to go ahead and rise up with the rest of the state, right? It was a big deal for us, and actually I saw something really sad for me. We used to meet up at the University of Arizona in the basement. You can just walk there, right? Mm-hmm. You need a cat card to enter, but there's a student there anyway, right? So you used to go down there and you used to play on these big old, really janky, busted CRT TVs, right?
Mounted to the wall.
You had to look up and break your neck.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it was good times.
And we finally had Tio at this time. So now Tio was finally invented, and we actually could organize tournaments. And it was so great. And then I actually have a...
Tio was something you could create tournament brackets on.
Yeah,
sort of
I've heard.
Smash.gg.
Javier told me about it once, and he told me because I don't think it's active anymore.
No, ever since the what's that online tournament challenge? Yeah, challenge.
Yeah.
He's talked about how Tio was the greatest bracketing software still to this day.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was good.
Apparently, it's like godlike.
So like you can even show this on the screen like real quick. So. Here, you see this right here. This was the place we all ended up playing. It's been gutted out and turned into like a business center here. I'll let you guys see what it looks like now.
Wow.
Y'all probably know what it is. But look, that is the TV area now. It's been gutted. It's completely gone now.
Wow, that's different.
Yeah,
What?
that is.
Wait.
That's it.
That's not where the arcade was, is it?
That was it. The arcade's right next door.
So
to
is the
it.
Panda
Is the
Express
arcade-
still across the street?
It's
Wait,
up
across
there.
the
Tim's like,
hallway?
is the food still there?
Who's still there?
To the right of this is the arcade,
Right,
right?
yeah. The arcade is still there, but
Okay.
the place where we end up playing the game.
There's a Wells Fargo.
Yeah, it's across.
That's different.
It's reflected on the other side. So
Oh.
so apparently that's just some kind of crazy reflection.
Where's the food court, though? I'm serious.
It's still
Like-
upstairs.
It's
man.
upstairs.
It's still
This
upstairs.
is downstairs.
This is downstairs. No, that.
Oh, this is that lounge area.
Yeah, that's the
Okay,
lounge.
okay,
So the lounge
okay.
area has been gutted and turned into a business center, and
Wow.
so all that it's just weird when you have that thousands of matches played on those stupid TVs.
Yeah.
It's just now
What happened to the
officially gone.
TVs? What did they do with them?
I don't
Probably
know.
threw them away.
Probably some Smasher basement that
no.
doesn't work.
Send them
Oh, I
to
don't
the
want
dumpster.
They got
lag.
rid of the lounge, man.
Yeah.
I've had so many finals matches versus forward on those CRTs looking upwards. Man, those tournaments, man.
Yeah, so that was I'm sorry, but yeah, I try to abridge my Louisiana part. So yeah, after I started playing Smash down here, ended up going to my grandma's place in Louisiana for a year, and then that's when I ended up meeting Baton Rouge's people that played it. So I'm not sure East Coast. I'm not sure they even got super big, but I know Lee Martin was the best person in the state.
Lee
I know
Martin.
him.
Do you know Lee Martin?
Lee
I know him.
Martin.
Lee Martin was. I actually ended up winning a doubles state tournament with him. So I have a little banner somewhere saying Lee and NickNyte's 2007 state champions or some bull crap like that.
Nice.
And so, and I ended up I was following him from a little bit of time. I saw I think it's Cypress as well. He used to play with them.
Syphilis?
Syphilis, yeah.
Syphilis. And then and I just kind of just traveled along the south too. I even went to Florida, over in Pensacola, and started playing with those guys when I was with my dad. And it was just that actually honed my skill. That's when I ended up playing with some of the smashers there. Like there was another smasher that soon I used to play with him, and then Freddie and Vaughn Venters. I think his name is Vaughn Winters now. And he
sounds familiar.
yeah, he actually is good friends with Ty. So the reason why Ty is here because after Hurricane Katrina, his family got displaced, and now he's part of here. So we
I
actually
never knew that.
Yeah, so the Smash. It's funny how this Smash network from Louisiana to Arizona is still very mildly connected in one way or form. And that's when I ended up learning how to play. My Marth got more developed. So when I came back over here, my Marth was now not getting destroyed by forward every time I saw his face at the university. And now it was my own kind of thing that I was able to develop in the South. So then I started going to tournaments, and I kind of had a low-tier Arizona was a thing, and I wanted to be known for a low-tier character.
Of course, we all did.
We all did.
Me with Mewtwo. He already.
So what was low tier Arizona? Was it like?
So basically,
Taj inspired us all.
Yeah, Taj.
Taj and his Mewtwo, man.
Taj is the kind of
Shadowclaw.
guy you know. Taj was working on a series called Shadowclaw back then. It's a great. If you guys haven't seen Shadowclaw, check it out. It's on YouTube. Shadowclaw 1, 2, and 4.
1, 2, and 4.
Shadowclaw.
What happened to 3?
There is
who none. I don't know.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah,
it's
Is it like Windows 10? You just skip 9?
Yeah,
it's bad.
That's basically what it is.
I don't know
1,
what
2, and 4.
happened. So
It's on a hard drive somewhere, dude.
anyway, but he's the kind of guy that you would. I went up to when I first met to meet him, and like many people, his first comment to you isn't like, "Hey, you want to play a game?" or "Hey, you want to do this and that." His first words to most people are like, "Hey, do you want to be in Shadowclaw?" And that's his and of course,
that sounds like Taj.
so when of course I'm like, "Wait, I've seen this combo I've seen this video on YouTube. I know what to do. I'm not going to hit by this stuff." And then you realize there's levels. There are just levels of tiers of players, and that's when it really hit me and probably a lot of other people. So having seen him play Mewtwo, a lot of people won't remember this player, but besides him and Todd with Mewtwo, Jeff with Pikachu, Wobbles with Ice Climbers, of course, there's another sleeper that a lot of people forgot about in Arizona, and his name was Hanky. I actually don't remember his name, but everybody thinks Jeff's Young Link is crazy, and it's crazy now, of course, but Hanky was the original Arizona Young Link, or one of the originals that at least in our time was. And good enough to a level where he's taking games off of forward.
Funny enough, my first ever recorded tournament match is against Hinky.
Yep.
Me versus his Young Link, and I lost.
T5, baby.
Yeah,
T5.
T5.
Name was T5.
He was very good Young Link. He was top 10 in the state. I think he was ranked number 8 or something.
7. I think it was 7.
He was
7?
8 overall in Arizona?
Yes.
Yeah,
In
the whole
like
state.
what year?
2007.
Dang.
So how did the power rankings work back then in terms of like, is it like we have now where there's a council and then they kind of track win-loss and then?
Not
or
quite.
was it-
So we were kind of the outcast of the group. So I kind of I wanted to copy a Tucson Phoenix Sting. They didn't know about us. So I made
You didn't know about Sierra Vista.
Yeah, so I made a Sierra Vista power rankings. But for the most part, because we had no data or anything like that, Phoenix, Tucson, they kind of like, oh, they're irrelevant. Because, I mean, I guess it makes sense. We didn't go to anything. So it was mainly, I think it was a Tucson and a Phoenix area. Is that how it was?
Tucson was like Afro Samurai style. You would have to, like, once a week, you just challenge the person for their rank, and then you would end up moving up.
No. That was a Sierra Vista style. Sierra Vista did that.
Sierra Vista did that.
Sierra Vista started the challenge system. Tucson went by
I think
something
Tucson.
else.
Yeah, I think Tucson ended up changing. I know that we, for a little bit when I was, we'd end up doing the Afro Samurai
I
style.
think you guys took ideas from what Sierra Vista was doing, because a lot of you guys started to like it, but it definitely, that challenge system definitely started in Sierra Vista.
I think it came from Sierra Vista. So I didn't make it, obviously, but that's what ended up happening. And then eventually it became a council of certain groups of people that were already good within the city.
Of course.
I think Ford was on that council for quite a bit before he wasn't there anymore. You know.
Of course.
By the way, I love that challenge system for power rankings.
See?
That was me.
How it
See?
worked.
On me, baby. On me, baby.
I'm telling you. Listen,
I love it.
let me tell you something. This
On
challenge
me,
system
baby.
is stupid because it was you and you for the longest time, and then I had to fight tags for 3 and 4.
It was so good. It was so good.
So pretty much how it worked is you have like the top 10, right? And in order to move up, you have to challenge, like if you're ranked 10, you have to challenge rank 9. You have to take their spot.
Yeah.
And that's how it would work. And you have like, there's a certain amount of time, like you can only challenge them like once or twice a month or something like that.
We didn't have it that
Damn.
limited. It was like once. I think we had it once. I think we had it once a week. I don't think it was once a month. I think we had it once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
But,
sounds way more interesting than what we have now.
It was
which-
so
Dude,
good.
it's
The
hype.
idea was
It's hype because
amazing.
like everyone like gathers around and like
I
you know
bet.
we're doing a ranked match. You're like, oh, he's challenging for the rank. Like, can
Yeah.
he take his rank?
yeah.
Why
you
don't we
have to,
bring
like-
that back? Tim, you're on the council.
We need to bring it back. Like,
I
it was
mean,
hype back
It
then.
was originally. I don't remember where I got the idea from, but I know I remember I got the idea from. if anyone's watched Afro Samurai.
Number one headband.
Oh, that's the idea. Afro
But
Samurai was
I
amazing.
didn't think about this from Elvis's point of view, where it was like me and Tim at the top, and then Elvis has to continually fight.
Until he gets to the next part.
He has to continually fight tag.
I am the gate. I am the new gate. So I have to keep
But it
that
was
standard.
so good.
I wonder if we could bring it back. I wonder if we could bring it back and have like, and literally have like you could take like a headband home or something physical. Something
Yeah, I mean,
physical
it
you
would be
could
cool.
own.
I think stuff like that's super hype.
In fact, I would
buy it.
recommend that you just be a dual system. Like one, you would actually still have the console system, but then you were just like, well, there's still the number one headband.
Yeah. Well, just back then, I couldn't think of a way to motivate everybody because I wanted us to get into the scene. You know, Phoenix and Tucson are kind of just like blowing us off as nobodies, and I was like, okay, there's gotta be something I could do, you know. So besides, you know, Jeff, luckily I could go to Jeff's house and we would upload videos. I had to find a way that we could get competitive. So we had this challenge system we would do, you know, 7 plays 6, 5 plays, whatever you had to do. Then uploading matches, making small little videos, whatever we had to do to get noticed. And at the same time, this kept everyone hungry. At the time, you know, Jeff and I were at the top, but there were people climbing and getting better and better, and it was keeping people motivated and keeping them better. And then we had a small like rivalry with Tucson eventually. You know, one of them I want to talk about, but it's going to be much later on. But the classic Carlton and Ty, the original Sierra Vista versus Tucson rivalry, and this is when Ty was not
Bad. He was bad.
Well, he was bad.
Tyler used to suck so bad.
Yes.
Have you seen my comment video that he made?
Oh,
I'm
dude,
like slogging Ty with 16%.
No, I just loved it.
no.
It's like, look at these. I can do 21 multi-shines, but I don't have a neutral game.
Yeah, Ty was so bad.
I love you, Ty.
He's
but
so
he
good
was-
now, dude.
Yeah, I love Ty.
Did
but
he play Marth back then?
He was a fox. He was a fox
He
player,
was a fox
and he was a
man.
bad fox. When I'm beating you with mutes, oh, that's another story.
Yeah.
When I met
Tell
Ty,
the story.
well, no, it's. I don't think it's that important.
You
But
gotta
basically,
respect Ty for coming this far, though, dude. It's
yeah, he
ridiculous.
came.
Yeah,
But basically, my first actual meeting with Ty is me copying Taj. I was a Mewtwo player, so Ty sees me and he's like, "Oh, you're that guy from Sierra Vista. You want to play?" And I played Ty with Mewtwo, and I wrecked him so hard, and it was so glorious.
The funny thing is, Ty loved it though. Like
He
just,
did.
He wanted to keep
He was
playing.
Like a
and
glutton
playing
for
and playing.
punishment.
He
I
was
bet.
hungry. Yeah, play
Yeah.
any characters. Like we went to his house. Jeff would. I felt bad because Jeff would go. Jeff would play him for an hour and trash him left and right. Then I play for an hour, trash him. Then Jeff's turn. I go on Ty's computer and play Step Mania, which he's amazing at. By the way,
Ty's super good
he
at
is
Step Mania.
so good at Step Mania.
Yeah.
And then I would wreck him, and he would just grind. And his parents made us amazing food. He let us sleep at his house. He wanted us to come over. Now, granted, I guess you could say Ty's our entry into, not to say getting known, but since we went to see him and he housed us, Ty basically giving us like the, hey, they came over, they're actually really good. Let me spread the word a little bit.
And where
So,
where was he living at the time?
Phoenix.
So you guys would drive up to Phoenix and hang out with Ty like over the weekend and
Yes,
stuff, and just like
yes.
grind with him and stuff.
Yeah.
This is when Jeff and I were really immature. These are good times.
Oh man.
I love the SV Crew
Yeah.
YouTube. Check it out if you guys want.
What
some.
is it that?
It's called I Love the SV Crew. Unfortunately, well, we were much younger, but Ty recorded us on a was it a cell phone he used?
I think so. Probably. Yo, we
and
were wild.
we were not.
Yeah, we were wild,
We-
man. Like,
Damn.
Yeah.
I
I'm
can't
glad-
imagine.
I'm
It's
glad-
funny.
yeah.
It's funny that you talk to him about like about being like really arrogant and cocky, and then and the intense fire that you had to compete, because now knowing you, like, you're so humble and quiet. And you
It's
never
different
talk
now.
about yourself.
It's different now. Just like Ty had the same kind of transformation. He was kind of
It's like is he
all
like
about
fat
himself
Ty,
kind of
skinny Ty?
thing, and then he kind of calmed down a little bit. It just, we're all young.
yeah,
Absolutely. We're all young and dumb. I'm still young and dumb, just not as
Like,
many areas.
Did Jeff have that phase where he was? Did he?
No, Jeff was always humble. Jeff was
Yeah.
actually he's the kind of guy that didn't realize how good he actually was. That's what Jeff was like. He could. Jeff would get second place at a tournament, losing the forward.
Oh,
but unfortunately, he would lose the forward so many times. Unfortunately, that eventually gets into your psyche.
I used to lose to him all the time.
And ironically,
we all lost it.
Ironically, me being the first guy that hated on his Pikachu, I eventually transformed into the #1 supporter of it. So it's crazy ironic how it worked. I was the guy that was basically dissing it, saying it wasn't going to get anywhere. And unfortunately, there was a point in Jeff's psyche that he thought he had to switch characters. And I was kind of no, dude, like, you can do it. I absolutely know you can do it. And luckily he kept on going. And
what urged that transformation from hating his Pikachu to stopping him from changing
kind of like think of it as a little kid touching a stove when your parents tell you not to. You don't believe them until you actually experience it yourself. I had never lost before. I didn't lose to anybody. So Jeff being the first person that basically pushed me to my limits, and then basically being the person that was beating me, it's like, well, damn. If he can do it with this character, Tosh can do it with this character. Character limits probably aren't a thing, and of course they are, but to the extent of how he was playing him, it wasn't.
Tiers don't exist.
Yeah, tires don't exit.
Tiers don't exist.
That's a copyrighted phrase there. Be careful.
So basically, from that, it changed my perspective completely. Because, like, well, if I can lose, then forward can lose. My perspective was like, though I'm not as good as forward is yet, if I can lose, this person can lose. This person can lose. And sure, you're being outplayed now, but there's always more you can learn. And I guess losing, fortunately, humbled me a lot.
Well, I've lost probably to both of you more than I could possibly count combined.
Yeah. So
you guys, I think all three of you guys have, and Jeff, Tim, you guys especially have really great mentalities about losing. Jeff, you had a great tweet the other day where
yes.
I think it was you retweeted a twit longer where someone was talking. It was
Two Saint
talking about how why he loves and hates Melee.
Yeah.
It was like so wholesome Jeff. But the way you said it is like, I totally understand. Like, I've had times where after I lost, I wanted to quit, but don't give up. Losing is how you learn to become the best.
Mm-hmm.
And how you learn to become a better player. And like, that's so true. And I feel like a lot of players lack that mentality.
I mean that. And it actually took me forever to learn that, really, because it was always hard for me to take losses. And what really made me change my mentality about everything and how to take losses, it was specifically at a Georgia tournament. What was it called? I don't know. It was a tournament in Georgia.
Not What the Fox, right?
No. How come I'm drawing a blank on this tournament? But anyway, I played Cobble, and I was feeling really confident going into Cobble. Like, I was like, okay, I can do this. And Hungrybox was there. I was like, okay, I'm going to beat Cobble. Then I'm going to play Hungrybox. Here's my game plan, blah, blah, blah. Cobble demolished me. It was, like, really bad. And I did not take it well. Like, after I lost, I just I broke down. I had to go, like, back to my hotel room, and, like, I couldn't stop crying. I was, like, really emotional about it. And I was just like, after that, like, whole episode, I don't know. It was kind of like a life-changing moment where I was just like, you know what? Either I'm just quitting or I need to learn how to take these losses. Like something has to be done. And I think that's when I realized if you want to become successful in Melee, you really have to learn how to take losses and how to lose properly. And that's kind of a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
But losing's important, learning how to lose correctly.
Yeah.
Like learning something from it and not letting it defeat you.
Yeah.
It's I know I joke around about losing, but the fact of the matter is that losing, it only makes the person get stronger. And if they can't take that loss, like I've went over to Genesis 2. I'm not sure. It was actually, I think I was playing Swedish, so out of Pound 5. I think it was he was a black guy, and I ended up I got kicked out of pools, and I was I think I came down with a really bad fever. Remember, it was the days before we went down there and that Washington, I was like decked down on the ground for last.
Oh, I subtle memories. I don't remember.
So
all of it, but
I ended up going there, and I was able to blow it out. I was still sweating profusely, but I was just like, let's get to the tournament, and then I ended up getting kicked out of pools on that same day, and I was not, I thought I was at the top of my game, and instead of just being so angry at myself, I just went outside and walked around, and I was like, Washington D.C. is a pretty nice area, and it's quiet, it was a little bit cold, and I got me a stupid New York City pizza.
Yeah.
And what I actually have seen more or less recently, I've seen a lot of people dissing each other, or rather dissing themselves over the losses and stuff like that. And where a person gets good and they have like a little bit more of a, they don't have that community support. And I know that I had a friend of mine, Andy. I'm not sure you remember Andy.
Andy?
Yeah,
Andy.
he played Taj and he quit. Like unfortunately, he's not with us anymore. He decided to go to the other side of his own volition. So I don't want that loss. I'm like, I'm probably not sure if anyone listened to this per se, but if anyone feels that this game is causing them to like get that stressed out over it, it might be a good choice just to step back and try to reprioritize themselves. Because this game, you have to lose in this game in order to get good.
It's not just this game. It's with anything.
Yeah, it's with anything.
Like,
I'm just within Melee specifically. It's this that if you just within this game specifically, I know there's other stressors outside that will cause that. But this community, if you don't, this community, Arizona community is actually pretty dang good. We got each other's back pretty dang well if you within this kind of thing. So losing is something that we can help each other out with. But with this game, this losing is just simply a part of getting better.
Of course. Well, again, you can take that anywhere. Like it can be with. Luckily for me, I never had that. Well, I guess again, I hate giving you so much credit. That sucks.
Sure, Tim. Sure. Yeah, okay.
Do you want me to make a picture frame over
I
here?
hate saying this, but Jeff was a very, very good part of my life, and I hate saying that with him right here because it's so bad. But he was a really
like this all the time, Jeff.
But
he shows it in different ways.
Luckily in terms of the losing aspect, I got to learn that very quick. Luckily, in most of my career, that bothered me once I lost to Jeff the very first time. And then after that, it never bothered me again. The first time it bothered me so much because I was unbeatable. But then the reality hit me is like, well, dang, if I can lose, anybody can lose. It's the mindset of when, it hit Jeff's psyche that he might have to drop Pikachu and choose a different character. My logic was saying that my father used and everybody's probably used, but he probably went a little drastic with it. But he says and believes it's impossible to succeed without some sort of failure. And that's something that has stayed with me kind of forever. And even if you get success right away, there will be struggles along the line, period. It may not be considered a failure, but there'll be struggles. So with that kind of, after my first initial loss with Jeff, and trust me, I was pissed. But that stage never stayed with me very long. So I was lucky that I never had that stage in my career where I was just upset at who I lost to. And I've had some pretty unique upsets. People have upset me pretty left and right in terms of people I've lost to. And it's never bothered me. Because I got to learn that pretty quick, luckily. I've got no better way to put it on that.
You said that you just you learned early on that.
I learned early on that, yeah. Like, I understand. Because a lot of people have it mixed up. Like, top players will say, oh, if you're losing, and I get what they're saying, but I hear the top players say, if you're losing, you're not upset, then there's a problem. And I agree with that. I do agree with that. However, that didn't.
No wonder I suck.
that didn't ruin my perspective that I had it from. I was like, no, I still feel at the time, maybe not now, but at the time I still felt I was hungry enough. Sure, I was angry, but I wouldn't let that affect the way I treated other people. And unfortunately, some other players, they did let that affect them. And I understand losing is tough, losing is difficult. But at the end of the day, I didn't want to compromise real-life relationships that I've had over a game. Yeah. Because unfortunately, when I was younger, I did let this stuff compromise. I said it earlier, but when I was training with Julian and Carlton, they were my training partners. But then as they slowly faded off, I didn't play with them as much. So I didn't want that to be my standard. I didn't want to be like, oh, well, they're not as good as me anymore. I'm going to leave them and go to this person. I didn't want that to become my thing. That's why you'll see me play a lot more with people lower level than me now than people my level, because a lot of the top players only play with top players, and I understand you got to get better, you got to do your thing. I'm the kind of guy that kind of wants to bring the lower level players kind of to a maybe not top level. I don't think I can do that alone, but at least get them in the right direction. Unfortunately, a lot of top players want to get better still. They're still in that phase. So they're only going to play with other top players. I'm kind of past that now, so I can kind of do my own thing. And every once in a while, I'll play other top players to see if I can still hang. But it's not my main goal anymore.
So Nick, NickNyte.
Yeah.
I
like, honestly, Elvis is fine.
Elvis. Okay.
Yeah. I did all these weird
I always
names.
I call people by their tags
The
and their
Noob
real
Gate.
names. I don't know. So why did you start the Arizona Melee Community Facebook page? Do you think that that's probably your greatest contribution to Arizona Melee
I like
on the whole?
I
Because
think,
now
honestly,
it's a locus for. It's a focal point for Arizona Melee. There's over 3,000 people on the page, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think
There's a
so.
lot.
Massive.
I think that probably is it. I mean, like I wanted to
Pichu Burger Challenge, baby!
Pichu Burger Challenge.
What?
Anyone who could beat my Pichu at pound 5, I would buy them a hamburger, which was amounted to
It was
like
Genesis
$1.
2. I'm pretty
It
sure
was
you did that. I'm pretty
it
sure
was
it was
Genesis
Genesis
2?
2 you did that. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, but
Wait, I remember it at
it,
Pound 5,
it was
though.
pound. It was pound
It was
5.
pound 5?
It was pound 5.
Yeah, I definitely remember
because
the Pound
Lucy
5.
Bear
okay.
actually recorded it and actually was able to beat him in the pound 5. And then I basically upped the ante to any major player that I would buy them IHOP if I could, if they lose to my, but they have to lose. I did basically out of 5. If they lose to my Pichu once, then they would basically be on the wall of shame.
So you
Sort
know,
of like
you know
napkins.
the I love the napkins.
I love the
chat.
napkins chat. He was kind of like a.
That's the progenitor of that.
I guess you
for,
could say.
for the
Man,
chat
I
is just
almost
on
had-
the wall.
It was so hilarious. I'd never seen Kage so stressed out of his entire life because he almost got that one stock. He was in our bedroom during that time. It was just like, he was like, it was hilarious.
Who were some players that were on the wall of shame?
I can't honestly remember. I probably even know what Jeff and just probably taunted him the entire time saying that. Oh, you can't wall jump.
Why can't Pikachu wall jump?
I can't
That
Pikachu
is
wall
that
jump.
is kind of crazy, but
Yeah, I end up someone ended up recording some matches out of it, but I actually ended up paying someone like $1 or something to get some hamburger, and it was just like a way just to have people like just come and communicate, just have a good fun time. It was also one of my other ways that after I lost out at pound 5, I just wanted to keep having some fun and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Brawl Minus was out during that time too. That was actually someone had put up a setup on there, and it was kind of funky time frame.
Brawl minus.
Brawl
I can't
minus.
believe we had to bring that up.
So but back to the subject. I think that my creating the Arizona Melee community was my greatest contribution to Arizona. And I mainly created it because since Facebook was getting bigger, right? And at the University of Arizona, Facebook had been kind of growing a little bit. We didn't have the groups had just started, and it was like we need to have a place where we can kind of coalesce and talk about stuff. And the reason why that Taj probably put it off to the side because we were still so reliant on Smash Sports for all of our tournament setups and getting our Smash Fest and all this other stuff, right? And we were like, oh, what is another website going to do? We still have all these other sites. I think MySpace is still up there somewhere.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah.
And then slowly but surely, everyone was just kind of like, there's no way that that Smash Sports can relay information just as fast. So we did just calling out, hey, we got some stuff going on in this part of the state, this part of the state. And it worked out pretty dang good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great way. It's actually, I think a lot of this discussion now happens in Discord. There's not a lot of discussion in the Arizona Melee community anymore. It's really just, I think it's probably 95% me posting about upcoming tournaments.
Used to be.
And I
probably
appreciate
content.
that.
Now it's
That's
memes.
so good.
I appreciate that because that's where I still find everything.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't get nearly enough credit for it, but it's always appreciated.
I think
Yeah.
it obviously works because people
That's
are
why
still.
I make sure to like all of those posts, Steven. I don't know if you noticed.
I do know.
But I'm like, yo, Thank you. I'm liking this because I see it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's like the kind of the one place where there's 3,000 people in the group. I think at least 50% of them have to be from out of state. But and then and then of those 1,500 remaining people, like 100 are actually active in the scene. But it's the best place to reach all of them still.
Of course.
But there's not a lot of Melee discussion, and I think that's because a lot of it happens in Discord now, if I'm not mistaken. Like a lot of character discussion and in-depth discussions. Like people don't go on the Melee community and be like, oh, how do I beat Falco? Like they have.
That's definitely in Discord nowadays.
Discord.
Yeah,
and that's honestly, I think that's the best way to do it because now we have a community that like honestly because of. Freaking yes, you Jeff, you making you and your Arizona flag at Evo crap. Like the fact that we have Arizona on the map because we were at one point Arizona was its own specific region that we tried to push at Smash Boards because we weren't West Coast and we weren't.
Yeah, that is true. That is
we
true.
actually had
we had our own region. Yeah,
we had our
right.
own region because all the other four corner states was nothing. So it was just Arizona by itself. People were coming out of state to our place. And now that the fact that Arizona is now low tier Arizona and has all this concentrated skill, that people started joining the group. And now they use it to see if is there an out of state tournament out in Phoenix? Oh, let's do this, right? Right? And then they come to our place and like, let's advertise what we got going on so you can come and visit us in Vegas or in New Mexico or over in California. And it's exactly what I wanted. It was a place where the events of the community could get together. And Discord does a different job. So it's okay that the Melee community gets memed out because that means, more actual, not quality content, but real important content gets put out to a whole bunch of people that like the site.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to find the events and stuff because that's mainly, like I said, that's what's in there is people posting about events.
Yeah.
I think that's good. So Elvis, how did you kind of you left to join the Navy? What year did you join the Navy?
2014. It was in December.
And you're still active.
Yeah.
And were you living in Arizona at the time?
Oh yeah, I was living in Arizona right prior to that. So, my Smash career effectively ended. I say December. Not December. Actually, that's when I got married. Yeah,
let's
go.
Let's go.
It did. That is the truth. So
The
December 2011 was actually the effective end of my Smash career because then I got married and I fully committed myself to being a family man. But I was working in my job. I worked for a company called SAIC till 2014. So I was in Sierra Vista since 2009 to 2011, honestly, and that's when I was chilling out with Tim mainly, and I saw Jeff every once in a while, and then we play with tags, and but that's when I stopped playing was right then. I was still in state right up until 2014, but I wasn't showing up at tournaments. I still made comments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I showed up every once in a while, but I didn't make the trip to go to any any tournaments really. It was really sucky because it tore me apart because I love playing Melee so much, like to this very day, and I still got the base knowledge and skill. I still got some calluses left in my hand from when I still used
Tim
to
and I
play.
were talking that about fundamentals, and he was like his fundamentals haven't gone away.
Yeah.
Like they
my
always stay.
muscle memory has gone to crap, but my understanding of how the game works has not really changed. And I got 17th today. I'm like, hey, nothing's changed.
So let's talk about let's talk about Night.
So
Tournament, I believe it's a tournament that you ran.
Yes.
Tell me. And I've heard it mentioned before, and people told me like you gotta like if you ever I think someone told me if you ever talk to NickNyte, ask him about Night.
Okay, so it was abbreviated as NickNyte Yearly Tournament Extravaganza, so they're still at 1.
Which was also on whose birthday was that tournament?
A birthday tournament? I don't know. It was Easter, so is it your birthday?
Damn.
Your birthday?
Damn.
It was your birthday.
It was on my birthday.
It
Yeah,
was your birthday.
What
I
year
gave
was
you a
this?
big.
What
So
it was
bad.
on my 21st birthday.
That's what I was so bad for. It's like, how do you freaking?
What year was this?
I don't remember crap
This
right
was-
now.
Oh,
It was
What year?
2000. It was
2012?
2012. It was 12.
2012. Okay, so
That's
Easter
right.
2012.
Yeah, Easter 2012. It was on Easter. Happy birthday, Easter.
Woo!
Let's go.
The savior of Melee.
I wanted, and so the reason why I created a tournament was because I wanted not Phoenix but Tucson to have a regional tournament that people were to come into out of state for, and basically put us a little bit more on the map, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that it wasn't going to work very well because it worked out relatively well. I took a financial loss of like $500 some, but
Sounds
still,
like
but I
typical TO
did,
experience.
but I did not steal anything out the pot.
Shots. Relax.
I'm just kidding. I know. Don't worry. That's all past
Pound
memory.
five.
Relax. Everyone got paid.
Everyone got paid.
And,
Again.
how many years later?
I took quite a few years.
See? At least
Did you guys ever see?
At least my tournament,
I'm
I
just-
paid the people that got paid.
I'm just quoting. I'm just quoting history. It's okay. Everything's forgiven, but we just quoting history.
Did you ever see the guy at the WW?
yes.
Like, where's my money?
So
Hey man,
anyway,
it happens.
Okay,
and now
anyway,
Pound is back as a regular series.
yeah, that's really cool because
when
Pound
did
was
I get paid again? Because
Did you make money at Pound?
I got 4th place at Pound. I made money.
You should have charged interest.
But the thing is, like, that would have been the most money I'd ever won at that point at Pound, and I didn't get it. At
but
the
you did
time.
get it. You did get it. Just
In like
years
2016,
later.
2017.
Pound 5 was when?
Pound 5 was 2011.
11. Yeah.
Okay.
So more than 5 years later, when it didn't matter anymore, it did matter. It did matter, and I'm happy that he actually. Yeah, that he actually did it
because he had a huge financial hole to dig himself out of, didn't he? I
Oh,
mean, I don't know.
yeah.
I feel like
Oh,
Pound
dude,
is like
yeah.
its own. Let's go to Pound. I don't know. I feel like the story of Pound is its own.
That was a great
thing.
tournament for me too.
Yeah.
That was my breakout tournament actually. Besides the history, I switched from Falco to Yoshi. We were talking about this earlier, but the Arizona low tier extravaganza. Unfortunately, my transformation of Yoshi wasn't all great. I was ranked 4th, 5th in Arizona at the time with Falco, but I wanted to drop Falco to play Yoshi.
It lost to me.
It wasn't just you. It wasn't just
I
you.
win finally.
It was. I hate giving him credit too, but believe it or not, Ty is kind of a reason why I switched to Yoshi. I just got back from the military, the Air Force. My time was done. I went to a tournament at the U of A.
And this is when Ty was just getting good.
Yeah, Ty was finally getting good now.
Finally.
I'm not trying to say it like that, okay? But basically,
After 7 years.
Yeah, I've been gone for 2 years or whatever.
Yeah.
So I come back. But unfortunately, I tried to just keep my fundamentals, whatever I had. Of course, everybody else is grinding. I'm just like, I'll come back. Everything will be the same, no problem. And I lose. So after that tournament, I was like, wow, he's really good versus Spaceys. Everyone's good versus Spaceys. Wait, Tar's good with Mewtwo. Just good with Pikachu. I tried Mewtwo. I couldn't make it work. Wobbles is Ice Keys. I can't do that. Like, you know what? I tried Yoshi. I'm going to try it again. And I lost a lot for like 7 or 8 months to everybody. Whether unranked player here, random here, it didn't matter. I was losing. And of course, being the 4th, 5th ranked player in your state, people aren't going to like that. Like, go back to Falco, your Yoshi sucks. At the time, too, there was another Yoshi player who actually, he came out of nowhere. He came from Flagstaff. His tag is Angel also. But he was originally a Yoshi player, but because he came out of nowhere and was a Yoshi, and he was getting better results than me because I was a 6-month Yoshi.
I remember you, Angel. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a 6-month Yoshi.
Oh,
Angel,
I know that guy. He's been to tournaments before.
Yeah, I was a
seen him
6-month Yoshi. He's been playing Yoshi forever. Mm-hmm. So, because I was relatively new to the character, I am losing to, you name it, I'm losing. And Angel comes in, and he's amazing. He's taking games off people, this and that. So people are like, you're not Angel. You're not going to be Angel. Stick to Falco. Stick to what you're good at. And that was my moment of, oh, I see how Jeff felt now. Like, damn, this is what it feels like. Okay, this is what I deserve. So from there on, that's when my train went off. And Pound 5 was my breakout tournament because that was the first international level tournament where a Yoshi made bracket. It had never been done before. And I had a lot of players hype me up. Hungrybox, he was a big fan. DJ Nintendo. These are players that, at the time, they just heard like, oh, there's this player in Arizona who has a good Yoshi, but they never actually seen it. I had made a combo video called V3ctorman back then. Since Extinction's who I am.
Extravaganza.
Combo video might be an Extinction, but anyway.
Exactly.
So at this tournament, this is my breakout tournament, and
Yes, please,
I at the time, just Yoshi making bracket was unheard of. It had never been done before.
Did they
People
do
were just
round
like,
robins at Pound 5?
Yes.
Yes. So round robins to bracket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's pretty
that-
impressive.
Yeah, that was a big thing. And, of course, because I was struggling in Arizona, people were like, oh, this guy's going to go out of state, and he's going to get bombed. He's going to get wrecked. And I just remember seeing a few posts like, no Yoshi in bracket. He's got Omps in his bracket. He's got Siren. There's no way he's going to beat him. He's got Way on X. He's got all these good players. He can't make it. And then when I made it, people just, lost it.
That was a huge deal. I
Yeah,
remember that.
besides Arizona, people in the world were going crazy. Like, whoa, Yoshi's in bracket. Like, we've never seen this before. Like, we've seen good Yoshi players, but nothing like this. Of course, now we have Amsa. Oh, my God. Amsa.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good. Anyway, but that just wasn't done at the time. Then, of course, Axe and his performance. We had the whole unfortunate situation of people not getting paid. It was a crazy experience. And to this day, despite all the crap it gets, I loved that venue. Like, love.
What was the venue?
It was the Hyatt in Crystal City, Arlington, and I actually passed by there every once in a while. I literally will drive past there every once in a while because it was such a good
It was the
tournament.
first
It
tournament
was-
that I had went to. I'm not sure if it was like the main one, but it's the first one that the tournament and the hotel were in the same building.
Yeah.
And that
Really?
that wasn't a thing before. That was like
No.
unheard of back then. Like what?
We had,
So
yeah,
that-
the freaking venue is huge.
and it was a 24-hour venue too.
yeah.
Wow.
So it was unheard of that people were doing that.
Where did
So,
you place at Pound 5?
I placed. It was basically just bracket. So the bracket back then, which is crazy because I think brackets now do top 64, but it did top 32 back
yeah.
then. I think it was 400 people. So I got 32nd. I lost to DJ Nintendo and Kel. Oh man, Kel's.
Yep, good old Kels. Good old
So
Kels.
basically, I have no salt, but this is like probably one of the salty. So basically, Kel's, I lost him in winners, but it was 2-1, and basically the first game was FD, and I basically trashed him. It was bad, and then I learned Dreamland and the horrors of that stage. Again, I don't know all these. I didn't know much about the game.
Fireland.
In terms of like matchups and stuff like this, I just knew what I could do. I knew my punishes. I had no idea the horrors of Dreamland and top platform and being Fox and what
lasers.
Fox can do on that top platform and how Yoshi can't get up there. And Kells is one of those players that is not afraid of using the time limit. So, again, I respect Kells, great player, great person, but he is not afraid to use the stage to his advantage. And that's when I learned the fears of double jump back air and how amazingly safe that is, and a lot of other things. But yeah, I lost to Kells and DJ Nintendo. But just again, at the time back then, a Yoshi making that placing was unheard of. I probably could have made it a little bit further if I actually motivated me. Like, dude, just play your Yoshi. I've seen it. It's pretty sick. So after I played in round one pools, I lost. I actually got second. I got second seed in round one pools. So it wasn't until round two where I took Hacks to game 3 and I beat Azen. Azen is the old school legend.
Old school legend.
Yeah.
Old school legend. And you know, I wasn't expected to make it. So pretty much a Yoshi doing well against those players, Hacks was like, dude, no offense to your Falco, everybody plays Falco. Falco sucks. Like, no one's going to know how to fight this. Play your Yoshi. Like, I almost lost. Play your Yoshi. So Hacks was kind of a big motivation for me, and he's kind of the reason why I kept going. So.
And where did you place at that tournament, Jeff?
Oh, yeah.
Pound 5?
Yeah.
I got fourth place.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
I learned
it
how to
was,
lose my voice that tournament.
Yeah.
Good
It
job,
was.
buddy.
I'm like really overlooked for that tournament, but I didn't really.
He was.
Like, that
here.
was like no Pikachu has placed 4th at a national tournament since then, but it was the results were PPMD, right? Is that the one?
PPMD. Yep.
PPMD, Armada, Hungry Box,
Axe.
and then me.
Yep.
And it was like nobody cared. They were like,
Wait, was it you?
Oh, this Pikachu.
but I'm telling you, dude, I worked hard to get that 4th place. Like, I put in work.
Was it you or was it freaking Hungry Box that got freaking Pokemon theme chanted on?
Oh,
we were seeing the Pokemon thing?
yeah, the
Yeah.
Pokemon theme.
That was,
that was
Hungry
Hungry Box.
Box.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was
Yeah.
I
Hungry
should give
Box.
it to you.
But
I wanted to see you embarrassed.
yeah, gosh, dude, I don't know, man.
See,
don't
I know we were talking about my tournament, and we just go back to Pound 5. It was such a great tournament.
Yeah.
It was. I'm not even salty. I'm just freaking. It was.
No, keep telling your story. I want to hear your salt, Jeff. I want to see Evil Axe come out.
No, I'm just
Evil
saying,
Axe,
it was a
Dark
great
Axe.
tournament.
Yeah,
It was great because like having, like at the time having the venue at the hotel was again, it was unheard of. And earlier you were surprised about it being round robin pools, like whoa. But you got to keep in mind, like back then, this tournament was like 300 something people,
Yes.
right,
Yeah.
over a 3-day weekend. So we
yeah.
have a lot of time to kill. It's not like 1,000, 2,000 something people or like there's no way you're gonna get through all those pools. Like back then, we could do round robin pools, and we did that all the time throughout a lot of different tournaments. But yeah, Pound 5 was almost the sickest Smash Fest of all time.
I see you, Jeff. You gotta keep throwing those jabs in, baby. Keep throwing them in. You are still salty.
No, I mean, okay, well, yeah, that's my shirt. That's my shirt. So I'm wearing this.
Yeah, what a great smash.
So Elvis, I'll ask you this, and I'm going to ask you guys this later on because I'm going to bring you guys back on for another episode because there's still so much lore to dig into. I think we could just go through your individual stories together, and that could kill hours and hours. What was your favorite tournament experience in your career? And tell a story about it.
Let's see. My favorite tournament. Actually, I know it. I actually know it. All right. I actually know it. So my favorite tournament experience. You're part of this too. You know where you go? Go to the restroom. Go. Leave. This. I'll just wait. I'll just finish up my night conversation and then I'll come back and you can be here for it.
You do need to finish the night conversation.
Yeah.
There's some there's some
tell us more
details
about
that.
Night.
Again, I'm your friend, I'm your homie, but there were some flaws.
There were some horrible. I've avoided listening to these flaws for years because I didn't want to hear them.
Of course you did. I know. So just in case
okay,
you.
so let's
you
go
know,
back.
So there's some glaring faults that I had. So organization, I didn't have enough people helping me out the organization. I thought I could do everything myself. That was the first flaw.
Common mistake. I've done that myself.
Yeah.
Yep.
The second flaw was timing regarding the melee bracket. So I decided to run 2 brackets at the same time. Right? Usually that's actually not a problem because I did get enough, because without the brawl side, I wouldn't have enough money to pay off whatever else would have came from the venue. The problem is that melee ran so much longer than brawl did. Brawl got done many hours before melee did, right?
Shocker.
Yeah.
Serious shocker, actually.
Yeah.
How many entrants total between both games?
I don't know.
Do you remember?
At the moment. I just know. I would probably say there at least.
It was like
50.
It was like 60,
50,
70.
60.
Between both games?
Yeah.
No, melee was like 70.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know what brawl was, but melee was like 70.
Yep. So also, let's see. Things that I know about. You can go ahead and add. I'm just going to go ahead and face my sins today.
Again, trust me, if it's wrong, I'll let you know.
All right. Major players that came out from California. I know S2J came over, and he was very, very upset regarding the the timing of the tournament.
At the time, it was his worst tournament he'd ever been to.
Yeah.
In terms of how he placed or how?
No, how
it
everything was run. He was
okay.
not happy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Not happy.
Yeah. I honestly don't think it was too terribly bad in retrospect. However, I guess I should have reached out more to the community to help me out. But I think that I may have put too much reliance on myself. I don't actually blame the Tucson community whatsoever because I should have asked for help, and I failed to do so.
And it just ran really late, and
it ran later than people wanted it to end.
It was supposed to end at a certain time. That didn't happen.
It didn't run. Yeah.
Breaks, not to say breaks, but the inconsistency between matches.
Like there was long periods.
SCJ would play a match, and then he doesn't get his next match like another 2 hours later.
Oof.
It was,
Yeah,
it was,
I've done that before. We did that with EAZ. I want to let you know you're super not alone because
I know.
Yeah.
I made my fair share of mistakes. We had that problem with EAZ last year, where we were trying to run both Smash 4 and Melee on the main stage, but that meant the Smash 4 players ended up waiting like 2 hours to play their top 8 match.
Yeah.
Just way
Well,
too
again,
long.
at the time, this was only for Melee. It's a 60, 70-person tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, rough it is. That's no excuse ever.
Yeah.
And it just, unfortunately, it's just what happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So,
it just honestly, you could say I would like to call it rookie mistake, but the fact of the matter is I'm not running a tournament anytime soon.
Yeah, of course.
So,
Had you run many tournaments before that, or was
Oh
it
yeah,
just
I've been in
like,
lots of tournaments. They usually just have a TO and stuff like that. It's just that I didn't think take the time to fully encompass the full scale of an original tournament. And I knew that if I had got a big name person on the ticket, that I could get more people because the tournament was around $2,000 in it to for the 3 days, which for me now,
for renting the venue and everything?
Yeah. For me now, that's easy money for me right now. But back when I was working down in Sierra Vista, that's kind of hard.
Yeah.
I wasn't making that much money, and I was just like, I got to make sure I get venue up. So I did end up. I'm not sure how he got the money over here because I didn't pay for his ticket. That Mewtwo King ended up coming to the tournament.
Mewtwo King,
Yeah.
STJ, West Balls.
So we had a real
Wobbles.
we had
Nice.
a good I think Mike Hayes
Mike
won
Hayes
the
was there,
he
yeah.
won the brawl side of that tournament, and then it was I still like to think that we had a good amount of turnout. I don't let necessarily I'm just not dissing on Jason. Whatnot. Jason's a unique person to work with, right? He's not mean or anything. He just doesn't he uses sound logic on why he shouldn't do certain things. He kind of has that respect because of the
Social cues.
His social cues, right? So there was. I'm not going to go too much in detail, but basically, I had a situation where I couldn't secure some, housing for the night. He had one tournament and stuff like that, but it's just. He's the guest of honor, right?
Yeah.
You bring the guest of honor from out of town, we should be well taken care of, and that's another thing that fell on me. That if I have important guests of honor coming to my tournament, I should probably have them taken care of. One way or another.
I drove him from Phoenix to Tucson for night.
You
That's what you guys are talking about, right?
I housed him for a week.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I drove him.
You want to house him
first.
for a week? So
Hey,
You
I was first.
know how to.
I fed him.
Who had
That's a
a
big
very
thing for
very
Tim.
very.
He left his shirt in my trunk.
He slept in my bed.
I had a very a lovely wife who wasn't too pleased after that.
I'm not sure if you know. Jason's a little dude. That man can eat. Okay,
I've actually heard the story.
that man can
he
eat.
put
Like,
it away.
I had probably $60, $70 worth of groceries, and no, not after a week. It is gone.
Well, regardless of the
So tell me like what are your best memories of night? Like what are the positive things that came out of it? It doesn't. I mean, it sounds like obviously.
I don't
it's a
have
little roughly
honestly,
run.
like I said, I've honestly avoided most of the critique regarding night as much as I possibly could.
Yeah.
I really have. But I still think that in the long term, that people really didn't. It didn't hurt the community in the long run. In fact, it just simply just like, hey, we had this one bad egg out of here.
It didn't hurt the Arizona community. It definitely damaged California from wanting to visit us again for a while.
Oh, good. They don't need to come here.
Yikes!
Yeah.
Relax.
I can say whatever I want to. I don't live here.
Well,
Oh man.
But to be fair, I mean that I don't know, that stuff happens sometimes. I mean, 2-3 years later we had Sandstorm,
oh boy.
Yeah.
and I mean I remember players saying I will never set foot in Arizona again.
Yeah.
Well, they had this
Yeah.
tournament worse than night. Oh man, I gotta hear about this one.
You don't know about Sandstorm?
Wait, you
Oh,
don't know
boy.
about Sandstorm?
I don't know what's about this.
Wow.
Wow.
I mean, if I go on record as having the worst tournament ran in Arizona history for a regional, then I'm gonna be like, "I am the NickNyte. You come to my tournament."
Well, Sandstorm's got.
There were like quite a few things that went wrong with Sandstorm, but like the main one that turned basically everybody off from coming to.
Steven. No, I'm playing.
I gotta hear this. If you're gonna bash my,
I was
tournament,
about to
hear
give an
others.
example, but I'm not gonna.
Oh,
You see me, dude? You see me?
I mean, the main
That
thing that
Mac
turned
D.
everyone off from coming to Arizona was It was the stream, actually. The stream was just absolute garbage. And so, like,
bad.
everybody that was watching from home was just like, dude, Arizona's terrible.
Yeah. I remember. So I actually remember Sandstorm because it was right before we ran the first sweet spot. I had just gotten into TOing, and like I had, I was like all excited to be running our first tournament series, and I announced it. And I mean, Sandstorm was April 13th, or it was that second weekend in April, I believe, and then the first sweet spot was the last weekend in April. And I remember the hate that was coming from Reddit.
Yeah.
I mean, I read the Reddit thread, and I was like, and that made me for years. I mean, years after, terrified to ever fuck up at a major tournament that I was running. I was so careful.
Yeah.
That's probably a good thing.
I really don't.
Yeah.
I want just a bit of background for me. I literally wasn't here. Like the moment you said Reddit, I'm like, Reddit Smash tournaments.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so I mean, I guess so. Sandstorm was it started out as a like a regional and grew to become a major tournament. And this was right during, it was the full revival of Melee was in full effect. Like the documentary had just dropped, I think, within a year previous. What year did the documentary come out?
2013.
2013. So so not within a year, but 2 years.
It was Melee was
like Melee
was booming. Like Melee had returned to Evo.
The platinum era. Basically.
Yeah, it was the platinum era of Melee. So so MVG had come in and somehow, and I didn't know a lot about the inner workings of MVG. I just saw a lot of what happened on the outside. But they basically got like Armada, Mango, Hungrybox, the gods to come to Arizona.
Leffen was there. Yep.
Like they got the gods to come, and I have never gotten any one of those players to come to Arizona since then. In the years since, maybe there's a reason. But they
Hey, Plup showed up.
Yeah, that's true. Plup,
we got Plup.
Yeah. But that was before Plup became a god.
Yeah.
I take a little bit of credit.
Plup was always a god. I don't know.
I would like to point out that Plup won Runback 2017 and then won Genesis 5.
Plup switched to
Axe,
Sheik and became
who
a
said he was a
Axe
god?
won Runback 2018 and got second place at Genesis 6. So there might be there would truly be a Runback blessing if you had won this year, but that's next year.
Next year, man. I'm coming.
G7, baby. G7. But yeah, so MVG had come in and they had a fair amount of capital, and so they got the gods to come to Arizona, and so it exploded beyond I think what anybody, and I think like Jeff and Bernardo and Nick, I'll ask them about this someday. We'll get them on here, and we'll get the full from beginning to end story. But it just grew to beyond what anyone thought it could possibly be.
Okay, so
I think there was over 300 people in attendance, and they were running Melee and Project M and Smash 4, and it was 1 day or 2 days.
It was 2 days.
I think it was 2 days because I was in the process of actually moving here to Phoenix.
And it was.
I was sleeping at the house with no furniture there.
It was at GameWorks at Arizona Mills, and I mean that place could not hold that many people.
Oh, the GameWorks.
There was GameWorks at Arizona.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Now it's like a tilt studio or something. It's a different kind of arcade.
I have that right in my house.
But I mean, so GameWorks was like I actually think it's a pretty good venue. I mean, it's got food. I'm pretty sure it has a bar in it.
I thought it was a great venue. There were way too many people there.
Yeah, there was just too many people in it. So you have overcrowding first off. You've got all 3 games running. You have Mewtwo King in all 6 events, I'm pretty sure. He was in Melee doubles, Melee singles, PM doubles, Smash 4 doubles, Smash 4 singles. And it's Mewtwo King. So
he's got to cater it to him.
He's going to be in finals of like all of
everything.
And then he's just going to be Mewtwo King, where he's going to disappear for like at least an hour. And Nick was trying to find him to play his sets. And because it's Mewtwo King, you don't want to DQ him. And they found him sleeping under a table. When I think he was supposed to play PM and like he held up bracket for like I think it was like an hour because he was sleeping under a table somewhere, So there was like a lot of just small logistical things that happened. Things didn't finish on time, but the ultimate nail in the coffin was that during grand finals it was
West Balls and Armada.
West Balls Armada.
And West Balls was up.
Yeah, and he was on
fire.
Actually,
he was in fire. He was in fire.
Yeah.
God damn it, Jeff! I hate you.
He was playing so well. And it's late at night on Sunday, later than GameWorks was supposed to be open. And ultimately what they determined the cause to be – so what happens is like they're playing, West Balls is up in Grands, and the stream shuts off. And not just the stream, the setup that they're playing on shuts off mid-game. And the whole venue goes dark, and people are just start freaking out. So what happened afterwards is, for some reason, MVG went on Twitter and said that MacD had pulled the plug on the stream setup, and then that just turned into a colossal meme. So now everyone thinks
MacD pulled the plug.
Yeah, MacD's just a goddamn saboteur.
So basically, if you watch any kind of stream and, well, back then, after that tournament, if you watch any kind of stream and it went down, people would just spam MacD.
So
there was an
people
emote
still
for
do it.
Yeah.
It'll
Well, now it's like
MacD?
it kind of went back to picnic, but like it was MacD
Yeah.
spam, man.
But I mean, the stream was so bad, and I mean, shout outs to Mexray, because I know Mexray was running and he was doing the best he could, and there were certain things like I know the internet was bad.
Yeah.
It was the
MVG
internet.
built a legit stream setup for Mexray to use, like multi-$1,000 stream setup. So it wasn't necessarily that, but the internet was bad. You will still, to this day, people will spam MVG in chat if there's problems with stream. Like if the stream lags out, if the internet in the venue is bad, people will stream MVG. It was that bad.
The signal for the stream for that tournament was run off a cell phone.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's the thing, because they couldn't get decent internet.
Yeah, there wasn't
Yeah.
internet.
So
at the
they're like
venue.
just trying to hack it. They bought a bunch of hotspots and hacked it together the best they could. So everyone was doing the best they could. But that I believe what happened was that Westfall's had all this momentum. Stream shuts off. They get it back up and running, and then Armada comes back and just demolishes Westfalls. He'd lost all his momentum, and then there was afterwards this explosive controversy because MVG was taking all this heat and was not taking responsibility and just trying to redirect it wherever they could and blame everybody else, and it was bad. And that was one of the defining moments for me as a budding TO. I had not even run my first tournament, and I was like, if you fuck this up, people will come after you real hard. And I was scared. And I remember when we ran Run Back, I was terrified that something would go wrong. And when it ended, I like collapsed. I was like, oh my God, we did it. And there was no problems. There was no major issues. But that taught me that if you fuck this up, this community will not forgive you.
Yeah.
And they didn't, because MVG ended up moving out of state. And,
I mean, there were other reasons, but yeah.
Yeah.
that
I
was,
don't feel
that's
so
another
bad.
saga we can get into.
Yeah, of course.
I don't feel so bad overnight now. I feel okay.
A little redemption. So,
All right, look, California. Look, listen to me. I am personally sorry.
They're
for
over it now.
No,
They're
yeah,
over-
no.
Oh, you're just giving your own personal thoughts?
Please
Okay,
come back. It wasn't. It was my bad. It was my bad.
And SoCal, so they've come out since then. I mean, we've had Irvine carpools like every year for Run Back. Like I managed to
Maybe
not to take all the credit, but I managed to repair those relationships. I think because we showed.
Thank you.
people
I'm
some
glad.
good times.
I'm glad you're admin of my page. You're doing a great job.
Oh, you don't know. You don't know. Steven's a legend, man.
Yeah, he
Like,
pretty
he-
much.
Look at this goddamn place we're having an interview in right now. This is amazing.
Yeah, he's pretty much the reason.
You think I could do this? I make a dinky Facebook page. You're gonna make this page.
You wanted me to do a lot more stuff with the group, and I wasn't having that.
I just like people.
But yeah, he's the reason that we're still relevant for the most part. So
See, I succeed not in Smash, but in person management, and that is what I have.
Yeah.
For you.
yeah,
Personnel management.
Personnel. I'm the best Smash in the world. Just not skill wise.
Well, it's
that's his title though, because you don't know this meme either. But
Stop
I'm
taking my
sorry,
stuff.
but if you haven't met Rishi yet. But,
That's
you know,
right, that's
that
right.
Axe actually has that title too.
Well, it's okay if he's the best.
He
but
can be
I'm
the best.
by far.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
of course,
I am,
of course.
I am a chief executive officer of out-of-state management for Smash Affairs, and that is for the state of Arizona.
Oh God!
But are you
that-
the best Melee player by far?
No, he said he's the he said he's the best smasher.
Oh,
You're the best Melee. You're fine.
We're
You're
not
fine.
talking about Smash here.
okay.
yeah, Melee's not Smash.
Yeah.
Melee is not Smash.
Yeah, do your research.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't know this one either. Come on.
He just
After,
found out about the
what are you
Salem
talking about?
controversy.
After extensive years of research, I can personally say that I am the best Smasher of all time. I got this very small prompt to explain. I saw you get roasted on those pictures. I literally saw that video last night. I was rolling.
Wait, which one now?
The one freaking I was freaking Salem like grilling the entire Smash community.
Okay,
I saw
good.
that. I saw your
good,
bonds.
good.
It's like you got, like Jeff Kim sees you as a person and you just attack him.
Dude,
I'm like, that was ugly.
we're talking about good things like Arizona. Not
Yeah.
bad
Yeah.
things.
You know,
Let's go Arizona.
Let's go AZ.
Yeah.
I honestly, it probably we need to go ahead and probably wrap over until it's
Yeah,
done.
I think we should.
But,
So give us your like kind of final thoughts. What do you want to say to the Arizona community? You've been gone for a couple years. I know you're saying that someday you might come back, but just give us your thoughts on the Arizona community. How do you feel like things have changed, and what do you want to say to the people?
Y'all ain't good as me. I'm kidding.
No, they're better.
If y'all get 17, I don't think so.
No,
They're a lot better.
Personally,
Right.
early,
Yeah.
I remember like being like still a teenager and just being like, man, this is the coolest thing in the entire world. Like just being able to play a game and get good. And honestly, I had severe trust issues prior to playing Melee. My personality, my current personality to be nice and friendly to other people, that didn't exist prior to Melee. I really did not have a strong distrust. And when I was still playing through Melee, I had developed a cocky kind of attitude thinking that I was just better than everyone. But I really did. But usually when we were not playing on the console and stuff like that, I was just so chill with everybody. And that was that's kind of died down now. But I sincerely thank the Arizona Melee community for treating me as a good person, and me treating me as a good person. I could treat them back as a community as a whole, and I'm very happy that it hasn't died out. When you ask yourself literally 10 years ago, then man, I wonder if this is still going on. Like we're all old and stuff like that. Is this really happening? I'm 30 years old, and I started playing when I was 17. 17 years old. It's awesome. It really is. And I hope it keeps going on. I know that with Evo kind of just said, and this is not controversy or drama, I'm not trying to say that, but like with Evo saying that Melee wasn't going to be a hard lineup this year, I was trying to get back here to go to Las Vegas for that. But now I'm here in Arizona not having to worry about Las Vegas because this is what really matters to me is coming back and seeing my old friends again. Not Las Vegas, not the big tournaments, but just to see old friends.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for joining us, NickNyte, and it's awesome to get to know you because I feel like again, people that had mentioned you to me, like when we talked about like just important community figures in the past. So it's great to meet you, and Jeff and Tim, I appreciate you guys sitting down with us. Where can the people find you guys on the internets?
I will be at Axis Stream. I don't have a Twitter. My Twitter is @Vector. No, I'm serious, you guys. All right. So my Twitter handle is @Extinction. Weird, because my tag's Extinction. I don't get how that works. But yeah.
Why did you change your tag? I like VectorMan better.
See, that's the thing. This should go in the credits and edit it somehow. My tag has never changed, but the world thinks it has.
I'm gonna have to edit this.
Yes.
We are both.
Well, only
we
if
are
they
both
listen
veterans.
to the
I can
end of
smell
the
it.
interview.
That's what I'm saying. Just
Will
listen
they get the true story?
But yes,
The truth has come out.
Listen. We are both veterans here. I know you're full of crap.
my tag never changed. The world made it change. So with the world making it change, it changed.
Anyway, I'm Axe. You can follow me on Twitter @TempoAxe or my stream Axe.pizza.
Axe.pizza.
Just type it in your web browser, Axe.pizza.
Yeah. I'll be there too.
Follow.
So if
we'll
I'm
be playing.
Yeah, blah blah.
We'll be playing.
No one cares about you.
Well-
So, so if you ever see us on stream, he'll be losing most of the time. However, if he's playing other people, not me, he'll be winning. So, just weird. He only loses to me. It's really weird.
I'll just let the game do the talking. at this point.
Yeah, you want to lose some more? You're losing a mango.
And
Random.
I got
No.
I don't. I got a Twitter account at NickNyte. That literally is. Please, for the sake of God, I am not Nick@Night, that dude that plays Clash Royale. He has legitimately taken over any of my search programs. They're like, oh, did you mean Nick@Night? No, I mean NickNyte.
That was a thing, right? Nick at Night, like after 9 p.m.
Yeah.
it would show up.
No, not that
Nickelodeon.
NickNyte. This is Clash Royale dude. And
No, I'm talking like Nick at.
Oh
Night.
yeah. That's the point kind of started from. Was from that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is that where NickNyte came from?
Yeah,
Like
so
Nick at Night and
my
then
little
Nick Night?
so my little brother, he's full of my heart, right? His last name is McKnight, right? So when I got my online account when I was a little kid, it was just typed in as Nick Knight and off that joke. So I'm just like, you know what? I'll keep it. Now, because of the fact that the NickNyte kind of got stolen by other venues, even though my stuff is more older, I just kind of shortened it down to Night, which is it really doesn't help because there's another Smasher called Night in the South as well.
Oh.
But it's
Oh
okay.
yeah, yeah, there is.
There is.
There is.
So follow him at NickNyte.
Yep. NickNyte.
Follow me SAK on SAK Gaming TV's Twitter, as well as subscribe to our Twitch channel. Go to our YouTube channel. It's where the VOD of this will be uploaded. Probably going to put it on SAK Highlights, which is our much smaller channel, but that's where we put this kind of content. So youtube.com, look for SAK Highlights. Follow me, SAK Tyson, on Twitter. And guys, thanks so much for doing this. This is really cool. And I think we're going to do more of these because I think there's so many awesome stories to tell from Arizona Melee and Melee in general.
Yeah, we got to get you got to get Ford, Taj, Ty.
I won't put Ford on blast. That's what I want to do.
I mean, there's a lot of history here.
I'm just kidding. I love Ford. We have the same birthday. It's actually cool. Anyway.
You guys do have the same birthday.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
love
pretty
Ford.
cool.
My memories of him aren't all fond, but he did help with a lot of things.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's a great person, really.
We had many great battles with that guy.
Oh, yeah. Same.
He'll be here on Saturday. So there you go for suit and tie.
Yep. I'll be there.
Hell yeah.
I
Dressed
won't.
up.
Along with 47 other people.
Hell yeah. I hope so.
I might be
Believe it.
there.
With an open bar.
I'll be trolling on
Through.
stream.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a really good event. I'm excited about that. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. This has been, for now, what we're calling Who's Melee. And we'll see you guys next time.
All right.
Bye.